I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Sorry about that. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am management. Yeah, was talking to myself just a while ago. But for those of you who reside in the geographical space of Jamaica, let me say, good Ash Wednesday. Hope you enjoy the public holiday. You got some rest. For those in North America, especially the United States, do not feel bad, because here is why. You had an opportunity to celebrate a long weekend because you had a holiday on Monday. I am Manning's Man. This is I Am Sure Sports. Today I have a very special and a big show lined up. It's going to be a good one where I want you to be engaged. As usual, I ask you to do a few things for me. One, that you hit the like button, subscribe, and you share. All right? Please do that right now. All right? Share. This is going to be a good one. I know many will be in the comment section and you may not want to speak, and that is fine, but get somebody else involved in what we are going to be doing on this video today, because I'm going to touch on some very important matter and I would love to get your opinion on some of these issues that we will be discussing. Just to let you know, they bring back the love. The football games, they were played today. Christian Ambassador, I think they defeated the referees 3-2. I should have played in that game, but yeah, it was a little bit difficult for me, right, to attend. You know, it's a holiday. Yeah, and because of the holiday, big up Duklad. You know, my sons wanted to do some football stuff, so after I did the show, I ended up doing the football stuff, so I couldn't have attended. But the coach played in the celebrity game, and he helped his team to a victory. Coach Hal Grimson, he scored a beautiful free kick down there in the jungle. Looks like he can still play in the league out here if he's going to score those quality goals. But he did score, so big up Coach Hal Grimson on that fantastic goal that you scored today down in Arnett Gardens. You understand me? I think the keeper, I don't know, maybe he has a relative trying to get into the national team and he allowed that one to squeeze in past him. No, but it was a good goal though, right? And yeah, but good event. I also want to tell you about something else, right? So I'm going to get to that. Something else that is happening. There is a Constant Spring footballer, Victor Samuels, we call him Keegan, right? Keegan, he had some medical challenges. And in next week, I'm going to ask like Fabian or one of the Constant Spring ballers to come on and talk a little bit about how you can support him. Very good footballer. Those are you connected to Constant Spring. Some of you know him very well as well. And so if you want to support his medical care, had to do a major emergency operation. And, like I said, maybe you know the person and you want to give a helping hand. There is a GoFundMe. I don't have all the details, but I just want to put that out there so that you can be ready next week to assist in any way that you can. All right. The video is going to take a twist at some point. I have a PowerPoint that I'm going to present and show you some things that I believe. And like I said, I really I'm looking forward to your input in this one today or this evening. All right. Big up yourself. Welcome to the chat. Please make sure that we respectfully dialogue with each other, though we may have different opinions. All right. Before we seek to call people name, seek to understand before being understood. A man has a right to his opinion. He has a right to his ways. A man has a right to be wrong. It is his right. And so let us not to be too critical. All right. Yet we're still trying to locate Demo, who we understand is looking for Nemo. But Demo, bless up yourself, bless up yourself. I don't know what's going on with Liverpool, and what's going on with City. KS Sports TV, what is going on with Manchester City, man? I don't know. Tell me, please. All right, so let's get into the heart of the matter. Let's get into the matter of the heart. All right, let's deep dive into that right now. Oh, I hear you, Brad. That's a good one. That's an awesome one. Yeah. All right, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm contemplating like how I should go about this, right? If I should do the practices. So I want to discuss what I call my PEO. My PEO is principles or practices of an effective organization. That on the thumbnail you see several persons, and the video's title, if you all don't work together, we can forget World Cup 2026. I couldn't put all the words in it. The nonsense must stop. We need more unity, not more money. All right? Money will not solve the issues that we have if there is disunity. Now, one of the things that I've come to understand where the football is concerned, especially with the Jamaica Football Federation, several things are changing, several things are getting better, and it will take time. I can give that. It will take time for the consistent failure to qualify for campaigns be dealt with. I can understand that logic. It will take time for the coaching to get better. It will take time for the field to get better. What can be fixed now is unity and working together. For too long, the football stakeholders, the major player in Jamaica's football, have divided the football and continually battle for personal gain and the expression of their egos to the detriment of the overall sport, its growth and development. Case in point, the present construct of our football in Jamaica is littered all across it with infighting and disunity, beginning in the Jamaica Football Federation. At the very highest level, at the leadership level in the federation, there is disunity. And what I mean by that is you're working against each other. And I'm talking about vice presidents in the JFF working against the said organization that they are in. Now, everyone must have great ambition, but as you pursue your personal ambition, you can't seek to destroy the same thing that you want to be a part of. You can't tear down the house and live in it at the same time. You have to remove yourself and then you can tear down. But if you're going to stay in the house, it is important that while you're there, you don't destroy it, because if you destroy it, you're destroying your own self. At the board level, there is disunity. At the parish level, there is disunity. For too long, CASAFA and the JFF have been at odds. It looks as if the PFJL is also at odds. I must say, Chris Williams started out and Owen Hill doing a fantastic job. But it almost as if Chris Williams, is off the scene completely. You don't see him anymore. You don't hear from him anymore. And sometimes in leadership, you transition. But we heard from last season that there were rumblings, and he came out and he said, boy, the team has too many teams, it's not economically sustainable. That's the man's opinion. You may not agree with it, but issues like that should not divide an organization that is so important to the development of the sport in Jamaica. So I want to speak to the vice presidents in the JFF, the board members in the JF. I want to speak to CASAFA, PFJL. I want to speak to the technical committee. All of you have to come together. Put aside your issues. And let me tell you this. If many vloggers or many persons in the media landscape of Jamaica, right, if they really wanted to, they could seriously impact the JFF. Because the amount of stories you hear, oftentimes, the amount of stories you hear, people just refuse to report on it because it don't add value. And all of these things are coming from within the organization. People as high up as vice presidents, technical committee members, board members, parish presidents. And they are doing all of this while sitting at a table, having fun and laughing and talking with each other. And then after that, the teardown begins. If that doesn't stop, we stand no chance of qualifying. And here's what happened. It is going to surface in our teams. It's going to surface in our under 17s, under 20s, under 23. It's going to surface in the leagues across Jamaica. Because as the leader go, so the people go. If the leadership is operating this way, right? If the leadership is operating this, it's going to create problems. Now remember, I started out by commending you, because you're doing some stuff. And I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here calling for anybody to lose their job. I don't do that kind of a thing. My voice is in an effort to bring change with the good things that is happening. You have an opportunity now to start a new book. Walk in unity for the sake of the football. Come together. Kasafa, I'm urging you. I'm urging you. Let us come together. And then after 2026, if it don't work, no, I'm not telling you not to contest the election. All I'm saying that even if we are going to go up and challenge the present leadership, we don't have to tear the football apart to do that. We don't have to. We can do it. We can do it and have a free and fair election where the football itself benefits regardless of who wins. Whether Mr. Ricketts and his group steers or they leave, that at the end of the election, the football is not destroyed. And I'm going to highlight a few things that we need to, I'm going to share so you can understand some of these things. Technical committee. Let me give you a good example of something that needs to happen. Or the board. Because I don't understand how the systems within the federation work. Now, we have from all we have heard is that there is a person somewhere on the planet that I don't know if they work for the organization, the GFF, or they work independently of the GFF, but as independent contractor, they do work for the GFF. And that work is securing games. Right? So this person secure games. I don't call names because I don't know if I have the correct name. So this person finds game, which nothing is wrong with that. But now you have a head coach. It is the head coach who needs to speak to the technical committee and say, there are, as an example, there are 6 windows. We want to play this amount of games over the 6 windows. We want to play in window 1, teams in pool A, in window number 2, teams in pool B. Can the person who arranged the game find games this way? All right? It is the coach who's supposed to do that. We cannot have a way of operation where the person who is arranging the game finds a game and then the coach have to fit into it. Because the person who is finding the games don't know the coach's plans. So there must be that system that operates that way. That's one thing that needs to be sorted out with immediate effect. Technical committee. All right? Let me give you a next example. Again, I'm just speaking based on what has been reported in the media space. There is a individual from one of our clubs that there was an incident at a game. The person was employed to the JFF, but they also work with a local club. All right? There was an altercation at a game. I don't hear of a disciplinary hearing. What I know is that there is a fine of 5,000 Jamaican dollars that was applied to the person. However, the person was fired from his job at the JFF. Now, I don't know if other things led to that or not. But it cannot make sense that based on the investigation, the fine that was given by one group is $5,000. And the consequence from the governing body is for the person to be fired. And there's no statement to say, After our disciplinary hearing, we have decided, based on these factors, to relieve this person of their duties. That's how effective organization work, and all the parts work together. If I know Kasafa well, and if I know the club that this individual is from, it's not going to end that way. And management is saying it could have been avoided. All right? I'm going to give you a next incident. We had an under 17 team that went away. The people of Jamaica really have no issues with the players, you know. The people had an issue with how the team played. And they spoke about the coaching decisions. Where have the coaches returned? The coaches did press conferences leading up to this thing. Have they returned to Jamaica? Has the technical director returned? Now, of course, you're going to have your assessment, evaluation, all of those things. But I have not heard from Wendell Downswell, Meron Garden, Vassal Reynolds at all. Have not. I'm citing examples. I'm citing examples. So you can see that there is a need to get all the parts working together. I see a comment here. It says, "Man, does the person sourcing the games care about what the head coach thinks? Because money have to make." Well, this is what we want to know. And this is a very good point. Very good point. It's very simple. Is this person working, all right, doing this to get money? Because if the person is really doing this as a business, they don't care about what the coach thinks. They are going to get the game that puts the most money in their pockets. Or is this person paid by the GFF regardless of the games that they get? The third thing is that as a federation, do we need a third party finding games for us? Shouldn't we have persons within the organization that can call any member association and ask and arrange a game? What influence does this person have to be better able to secure a game than someone else in the organization, than Dennis Chung, than Chris Deering? Is this a need that the organization really need to fill outside, or could it be filled on the inside? These are some of the things that we need to look into. These are some of the things that we need to address. Remember, I am saying that too many individuals want to get the credit. I can cite an next example. And it's almost as if we're going to discredit so we can get credit. Be one body, one organization. I'm going to get to some more things, but I also want to, because I think it was yesterday that I did a video and I said to the people that I am sure that the next time that Jamaica plays a international at the male level, that Gray would play. He would be in the team. All right. So subsequent to that, so most things are in place, but there is a hiccup. So I'm still having fingers crossed, but I believe, if not against Mexico, by the Gold Cup. Right? So Management, you may be asking, so management, why are you complaining? How can you help? People, I'm going to go through some practices of effective organization, and then let's go through them together. So I did this because I'm like that, I like to not just practices of an effective organization. This is something that I do. And maybe you're from the JFF and you don't want to listen to management because he's just a little YouTuber. He's a little nobody. What does he know? And that's fine. But if you'll just be open to listen to not just management, but some of your stakeholders, the fans of Jamaica's football, then maybe we can get some change or make some changes. All right? So the first thing is that we need to encourage cooperation. That's the first thing. The central objective of organization development is to achieve a cooperative institutional order and quash destabilizing self-interest. Let me say that again. The central objective of organization development is to achieve a corporate institutional order and quash destabilizing self-interest. Can you imagine a company that could survive with members having divergent motives and antagonistic goals, and yet the temptation to act in ways contrary to the purposes of the organization is high? Indeed, often the easiest and most lucrative course of action is to accept the benefits of the group accomplishments, such as a compensation, while contributing little to the group's cause in return. One way companies try to solve what I call this free rider dilemma is by changing the calculus of the relationship through rewards and punishment. A company might, for example, reward employees' display of cooperation or provide public accolades for teamwork or censor against a lack of cooperation. So we need to begin to encourage cooperation. Get away from the what I call the free rider mentality. Promote and project those who work for the purpose of the organization, and call out those who are not, so they can change. One of the other things that successful organizations do is that they organize for change. Organizations that need to change often don't. Once great companies have found their final resting place in an expansive graveyard of slow movers, right, and has-beens, these organizations failed because they were unable to adapt to changing conditions and succumb to the capitalism unapologetic truth that only the fittest will survive. While employees are often portrayed as the villains in these scenarios for their resistance, people in fact are really ready for change. Ready for change. But many times, so in effective organization, leaders upend paralysis by generating a sense of meaning and action. So I want to encourage you, JFF. You have to change. As times and things change, the organization must change. You cannot operate I think somebody said it earlier. I think it was Cranky who said it earlier. Let me put up this comment. If you always do what you have always done, you will always be who you have always been. This is what he said. One cannot keep on doing the same thing and expect different outcome. We need people to think and act more as a collective versus as individual. We have to do better. That is it. There has to be change. Things are changing. The organization needs to change. Things are evolving. We can't continue the same way. Number 3, right? And then I'll come to some of your comments and then you can call in and share your thoughts. Anticipate the future. You often hear, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You must have a plan A, plan B, plan C, a plan all the way down to Z. So, all of these mishaps signals 2 things. Number 1, you only prepare for the is, not the what ifs. This is what we are going to do. And in any level of management, you always have what they call contingencies. You have checks and balances. Anticipate the future. So, we should already have scouted, spotted, looked at, cited, prepared everything for Jamaica's trip to Mexico in March. Where we're going to stay, where we're going to train, when we're going to get there, the field we're going to use, the time from the hotel to the field. We have to ensure that we get a field that is 10 minutes away from where the team is staying and 20 minutes from where the stadium is that you're playing. Somebody should be there. And what if when you go there, things are different? You already have a plan B in place. People will tell you about looking at your last trip there and do your SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You go through. You're all intelligent people because small fries like Manningsman can't really tell you anything. But when we, the normal Jamaicans, look, even if these things are within the organization, there is no anticipation for the future. So not every organizational death is avoidable. That said, corporations do not have to linger indefinitely on the edge of life or die prematurely. The GFF is like they're hanging on for life. Stop trying to survive and start living as an organization. The preservation of an organization depends on its leaders having the navigational judgment and skill to prepare the organization for what lies ahead. I'm going to say this again. The preservation of the JFF depends The preservation of Jamaica's football depends on its leaders having the navigational judgment and skill to prepare the organization for what lies ahead. However, when the future arrives, many organizations cannot meet the demands that the new market and the new environment, the customer taste requires, as long-term aspirations have been thwarted by short-term impulses. We are very myopic. The short-term impulses are destroying the long-term aspirations. I'm challenging you. This cannot continue. It cannot continue. It cannot continue. Let me take some more of your comments. What if we spend money on plan B and plan A worked very well? Was it a waste of money and time? No, because you don't know that plan A is going to work well. You spend wisely. On plan B, you spend like it is plan B. You spend like it is plan B. We have a caller coming in. Welcome, caller.
Man is man. I will stir you up.
No. Cranky, it has to stop, Cranky. It can't continue.
You didn't just get this and have this soliloquy. You didn't just get up and have this soliloquy. Something must have transpired or happened for this to occur. The one thing I haven't heard you mention, you talk about cooperation, you talk about isn't it? So take the label off everything. Take away the JFF, take away the corporation construct. It's about people. And if your organization with a certain culture, you could have strategy all you want, it won't work. I think it's Peter Drucker who says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So no matter how good your strategy is, no matter what your processes are, baby, if you don't effect them, if you don't have the right people in the right seat executing for you, you're not going to be successful. Not happening. So that's what you see when some CEOs take over a corporation. They let go a lot of people, and people wonder why they let them go. First of all, they want people who are loyal to them. They want to bring their own people who they know have certain competence to them, especially for a company that's been struggling. They're bringing their own people. They're going to make their own changes. Okay, they want to ensure their own success and the success of the organization. It may not always work, but at least they take the risks. So they want to make decisions and have the ultimate reward. So,
but isn't that a part
I
of?
do think you want to change the JFF, you have to change the people.
Yeah, right. Because the truth is, Cranky, organize for change. So part of what the organization must do is not just change its system, but to change the culture that system operate in. You have to change some of the personnel. That is just it. But
no, I said the JFF needs people change. No, JFF needs massive people change, not tangential change, not one or two people. No, you do want to make sure the changes are all happening all at once. But too much change sometimes can be drastic and may not work. So
you're breaking up sometimes,
with
Cranky.
institutional knowledge, but they need to change. I mean, you have the same people.
Cranky,
Yeah.
what I'm going to
change
do,
my
I'm going to give you. I'm going to send you the link because you're breaking up. So let me see that. Let me send you the link.
As my, says, as my link at this time of the night that I'm on
Oh,
this man.
sorry. Yeah.
This
You
time
got
of the
it.
night is
Yeah, okay.
not something I normally do now.
No, man, it's all right.
Stay-
Go ahead. But you're breaking up though. So let's see. Go ahead. Yeah, he's reconnecting again. I was going to get to some of your comments, but they're running. So go ahead, Cranky. All right, we're hearing you now.
Is this link better? It should be better.
Yeah, man, we're hearing
Because
you
I have
now.
an extended. I just connected my extender. Yeah. So the point is that if you when the kids travel and the arrangement not made appropriately, right? When players don't get paid timely, when you have all called logistics not being done, it's people not making decisions, right? Not giving the right guidance, not executing. It's about people. Most of what the JFF does or doesn't do is about people and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or not competent enough to execute their responsibilities on their.
Yeah, which is true. We have to improve on the competence level of the persons.
When we label it under the JFF, I think sometimes we should take away from the whole view that people making decisions.
Yeah, but this is probably where the problem lies.
I know what money's on this. I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me?
I'm hearing you now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is where the problem lies, because I anticipate that the personnel, there will not be wholesale change immediately, which is needed. All right. So what do we do while changes are being made? I think that is where now, and it is in life in general. Until the change of personnel is complete, how do you still get effectiveness within the organization?
Well, I mean, the organization is comprised of their board members, their what we call corporate executives, who right? And those individuals, right? Across the board, whether it's the leadership or the governance group, a lot of them are the same people year after year, getting the same outcome, which is not a positive outcome. And the question is, I find this interesting. If you're in those seats for those individuals, and those individuals know who they are, and the outcome you're getting is not positive, and your constituent is dissatisfied, and you're a nationalist, talk for me, I'll go to look at somebody else, take the role. I will help to assess the competence of that person, look at their resume, look at what they've done, and assist. I think it's being selfish if you're not competent to stay in a role which you know you're not going to be effective in. I think, they say, why should I do self-sacrifice thing? But the people who are on the island now say they're all nationalists, they all support the country, are not supportive of those who are
But you
outside Jamaica.
You have hit the nail
So
on
make
the
the
head.
sacrifice and help the organization.
Yeah, you have hit the nail on the head though, Cranky. That if you're a nationalist and you have a job that is not being done effectively, wouldn't be the nationalistic thing to do to bring somebody along that can do it? So are you really a nationalist?
I mean,
If are you a nationalist if you continue to stay even though you are viewed as being ineffective? Which is what Chris Roman is saying. Deep down, they probably believe that they are doing an excellent job.
I don't look. I think deep down they're not accountable for their roles and responsibilities. What do I mean by that? Meaning the organization may not be doing well, but you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not to be blamed, it's somebody else. So if I don't believe I'm part of the problem, I think I'm part of the solution, then I won't sacrifice myself. I won't even consider it because I am not the problem. Because frankly, in the JFF, there doesn't appear to be appropriate accountability. It seems to be a lack of accountability. Now, they have brought Dennis in, and Dennis has done well in the corporate environment, has a good reputation, and he continues to make the rounds on the various platforms. But some of what he's doing is damage control, right? And I'm sure that happened. But even Dennis, and I'll call him out on platforms, and say things sometimes which, when you go check the facts, are not accurate. That's a fact. Something in considering, always be caveat what you're saying, not actually factual. So you have to be careful when you're in those roles. If you don't know something, say, you know what, I'm gonna get back to you. Don't make a statement of fact when it's actually not like that. But this is not about Dennis or about Ricketts or about anybody. It's about us as a fan base want to see excellence. Now, what I find interesting, man, is, man, you and I watch the EPL a lot. You don't realize a lot of times in the EPL, it's the fans who fire the manager, not even the ownership.
Yeah, they put
It's
pressure.
the fans who basically say, but the Jamaican fans, I don't think sometimes position themselves to allow them to be effective in their role to put some of these pressure on. Right? Because it's not an organized body. A lot of times you have in those club construct organized bodies who are very involved. And that coupled with the media, and also the traditional media in Jamaica, to me, doesn't do the best job of also creating that environment and pressure to force change. Because why would I change Manning's mind if I don't feel any pressure? Where does the pressure come from in the JFF to change? Now, Rick, the one change we made of the Gen Sec was because of the players who pushed back in the last World Cup campaign that the Gen Sec got changed. That was the only meaningful change I know of that made. So how do you effect change through pressure if you don't have a means of doing so? We got to figure out how that works, because as you're saying, which everyone is concerned about, which is we cannot go another, 2023?
3, yeah.
Another year, because it's not 23, the qualifications start. We can't go another year having the same situation we have had for the last 20 plus years. We have to have a way to know we're setting up an apparatus to allow us to know that we're giving ourselves the best chance of success. The best chance of success. Not that you have to be successful, man. You have done everything in your power. You have hired the right people who have the right intellectual capital and know-how, the right football acumen and business acumen, all the different tentacles that informs a football program are in place, at least for qualification, necessarily in developing the kids, are in place and have been put in place, and the machinery is not executed against. Going to be tough. We're going to be pulling their hair out, and I don't have any. Pull their hair out because we go to the campaign. We all want to go watch Jamaica play in the World Cup, and that doesn't happen. Because that's the goal. The World Cup does a lot of things, man. You generate revenues. You can reinvest those revenues on a litany of different things. Players, facilities, infrastructure.
Which is what I'm saying. Part of anticipating the future in a cranky is go to 2026 in the World Cup and work backwards. Don't start at 2022 and go forward. It's like you have to know the end, and then based on what is at the end, you go in reverse and you begin. So before you begin,
No, you can't start 2026, man. You got to start when qualification starts and work backwards.
Or you could say, okay.
If you start 2026, you may not get to 2026.
No, right. So you have to say, okay, we let's see ourselves in the World Cup. If we get in, and this is the idea, if we get in, we we will earn 30 million US. That can build. So this is the future that we see. The vision. The vision is we'll get $30 million as an example. We'll build one more stadium in Jamaica. Just hypothetically speaking. All right. If that is the end in mind, then it tells me how much I can invest from the beginning. Because if I'm going to get 30 million, I can invest 5 million because I still will have a profit of 25. So it tells me how much money. That means now money is not my issue in the beginning because I've set my vision to get 30 at the end. That is how business operate. The man says, listen, if I have this vehicle doing rental, I can make $1 million a year. I only need to pay the bank back 200,000. So every year I have 800,000. All right, let me get the money together to buy the vehicle. I think what we do sometimes is we start in 2023 without getting a clear picture of what we want in 2026. And so it becomes like we begin to put pieces together. The picture is not completed and it don't make any sense. So we say, all right, boy, we don't spend because we're spending too much already because we don't see ourselves at the end of the whole thing. Living in
Well,
it.
it's not that we don't see ourselves in management. We don't have the people in the positions with the vision, with the required acumen to allow you to get to that destination, right? So look, management, we all want success, right? Even the people in those roles want success in the management. They just don't have the know-how to go about trying to get this done. They just don't. At least some of them. I can't make up a blanket statement. I don't know about all of them, but I don't think some of them have the know-how about what it takes, how to think strategically, how not to be tactical, and tactical has its place, to really think through what is it I need to do to accomplish my objective. What are different things that inform what I need to do? What's the template that I'm going to use to help me accomplish that objective? What strategy I'm going to employ? I don't think some of these people have the ability to think that way to allow them to develop that roadmap to get there, man.
Well, which is what before the game is saying, Cranky, does these individual you are describing reside in the Caribbean at the moment? Before the game. And then he says strategic planning is the answer. Neo says FIFA and JA government insulating JFF from pressure to change by giving them unconditional funding. Right?
Well, I don't look. FIFA create this barrier between countries and their football federations, right? But you hear more recently in the UK where the government is frustrated with the EPL taking all the money and dividing amongst themselves, and report today talking about what they're going to do. I haven't heard the results of it yet. They want to get more involved with that, so we'll see what happens. I do think about some runabout way, not to penalize Jamaica at the same time. But of government must just go try to pick up sports and try to run the sports, and then they get political, and then it just gets out of whack. We have to have enough people in the private sector who are willing to invest time in football to allow the football to progress. There has to be. Now, Dennis is one of those individuals, right? Dennis has come in. Dennis has a big resume. He hasn't had enough time. But does Dennis have enough influence? Because he's the Gen Sec, there's a president, there's a board, there's technical committees and technical directors. I mean, so even if he's altruistic, even if he's a nationalist, he still may not have the required clout or an autonomy to do certain things, right? You got to stay in your lane sometimes when you start wrong. So the question that arises is, can we get more individuals? And we haven't seen Dennis' performance yet. We got to wait and see. We got to give him the time. But can we get other individuals who have such resumes to at least try? They may fail in the management, but at least make some changes and meaningful changes, so we can be put on. People who have been successful in the corporate environment management, one thing I've learned is that. And one of my old companies to do this, which is you could be the head of HR, and they have you run head of six. Because one of their philosophy is if you have the intellectual capacity you think you have, you will develop and you've developed certain skill sets which are transferable. You can move from HR to go run sales because you first learn the fundamentals of what's required there. You'll hire people with that skill set and you'll direct them and guide them to go execute for you. So it doesn't mean that you have to be the expert, but at least you will know what's required for you to go out there and execute well. So I do think it's important for them to source individuals from the private sector, other areas, could be governmental personnel who want to go back to what I call civilian life to help them progress the football program.
Yeah.
But right now, money is very disheartening to observe what's happening, and the progress is not what it should be.
All right. I see. Before the game says, Lulu says top-down cascading management, TQM, total quality management. All right. I think he was referring to what was being said earlier. Then before the game says we need, in the same way we get, he says we need to bring in experienced administrators from outside, just like we bring in players and coaches. All right. So is that a point, Cranky? If we are admitting that the better players and the better coaches are outside of the space of all the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, is it reasonable to also believe that probably some of the better administrators of the game are probably operating in what you call more professional space, just like the footballers?
Yeah, I do think that's probably the case. In a lot of instances, look, intellectual capital doesn't reside in only one place. No money, it's distributed. Question is, how do you bring it together, collate it, and let it flourish, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I do think that's the case. I think they need to. Here's how I would view this, which is a lot of firms, what they do is when they want really good talent, they go to a recruiting firm. They have the recruiting firm go and source the talent. That recruiting firm will go to different ways and means of sourcing such talent. Person go through an interview process and you bring them in, right? That's the same thing when you do with a football manager. When you have them go out and look at who managers are, you look at their resume, you bring them in, you interview them. Do they align with your thought process? Do they employ the system you like to see in the football your team wants to see played, your fans want? And you hire them and hopefully they're successful. I don't know what the JFF recruiting strategy is for positions that are not elected positions, right? We understand the elected positions and also management. So the electoral process is going to change.
Yeah.
Given the
To
expansion,
57, yes.
right? Given the expansion of who we're allowed to vote. And hopefully the people who select those people who then select those individuals will make some changes because we can't have the status quo running, man. And I'm afraid we go end up. You and I are going to be having this discussion again a year from now, and be perturbed that we haven't made the changes that we all advocated.
That is probably where the issue, we need to try to fix the issue. Who are the people putting the people in position who end up voting for the people who lead the football?
Exactly. Exactly. So I think that I know it's kind of late in the process because the elections are when? November,
yes.
Yeah, it's kind of late in the process. Okay, if you want to start this process, you got to start 2 years ago. It's kind of late in the process, but once you just throw one's hands up and say we give up, I think there has to be a way in which people like yourselves are trying to influence those individuals who are a part of the electoral process and have a vote to try to change things. But they should all. But also, here's the thing, management: are candidates coming forward who are electable?
But Cranky, isn't that what I'm saying? Is though? No, we have. I mean, we have. There are so many good comments coming in, people. So please, I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring it. So when Cranky come off, you can even call in and share your thought because so many of the comments come in.
I can drop none. I can drop none.
Yes.
Comments.
So,
I can drop none.
Yeah, man. So let me answer you, and then someone else can probably call and share their thoughts. Cranky, is this? I cannot understand that in a real world, when an election is November, nobody has come out yet, and if you have not, how am I going to believe that you're serious about this?
Yeah, I mean, and maybe
This is
people
like
just don't.
this is like 6 months. What are you going to? How can you convince me in 6 months? This was known years ago. When are you going to decide? Or are you doing some undercover, um, covert operation, and you're already talking to a base of people, but you haven't come out yet? But I think we need to challenge, like I said, we need to challenge the people. I said it yesterday that we need to challenge whomever, including the present administration. We need to begin to hear the manifestos completely explained. And those manifestos should have a clear vision for the future of Jamaica's football.
Well, man, in normal electoral process, you'd have a number of candidates. They would be going to every single outlet to get their message out, try to convince those who are voters to vote for them. As you said, maybe it's a hidden process. Maybe it's opaque. It's not something that people don't want to be overt. You have to do backroom deals to get what you're looking for. And maybe that's the process. You know how those things work. So maybe that's the process. Maybe it's not trying to go out to the general public and, as you said, put forward a plan to say what you're gonna do when if you're pursuing a position. You just talk to the man behind the scenes, tell him what you will promise them, and hopefully they give you the vote. Because it's not like it's a general populace voting.
I'm laughing because John Doe says, man, in the same way we were ready for the under 17 in 1 month and the under 20, all they need is 1 month to prep.
I'm not saying there's no mannings, man. I do want us to take a little bit different approach, actually. And it's hard to take a different approach when things seem to go in one direction time at a time. I wonder if we can take, here's a wild idea, this comes top of my head, a month to just focus on positivity and productive and what we deem to be effective suggestions for us to move forward as a footballing community.
Which is what I'm trying to do, Cranky. What I'm trying to do is really to have this to say, listen, let's discuss. Because you notice I didn't say get rid of them, fire all of them. I'm saying that, listen, because like you said, there is a trigger. There is a trigger, and the trigger is there are persons at the highest level who are in the building knocking down the building. It doesn't help them, and it doesn't help the overall thing. That is the issue I'm having. You cannot be in the building and be beating down the building at the same time. So if you are in there and this is your attitude, what do you leave the persons on the outside to think? We're going to just heap on the destruction. We are going to just heap on the destruction. As much as we want to be positive, there must be a sense of unity. In the
you know why? Because the individual's interest and objective doesn't align with the organization's objective. So I may want the role and the responsibility, and you may be blocking me from achieving my objective. So I'm going to be divisive. I'm going to undermine you with the objective of attaining your position.
But is that why things I said
eliminating you because you're blocking me, right? So I think that's part of the issue, which is we're not aligning. All the people that don't have the same agenda, all the people don't have the same objective. They're disparate in terms of what they're trying to achieve, and that's part of the problem.
But this is where you need strong leadership. And that's why I talk about the change. So the leader, where that is the case, the leader need to come out, make strong, decisive actions. In other words, listen, this is happening. How did this get out? How did these people know X, Y, and Z when it was discussed only at the executive level?
Well, man, no, I say this. This happens in every organization, right? People have their own agenda. So let's not say it doesn't happen in the most major corporation, in the most prominent organization. People have their own individual agenda. I will say, though, is what you're trying, and especially when there's nothing that really connects them except they're part of the JFF, right? But so you have to know who you have at the table. part of the first thing is, how do I assess the people at the table? How do I assess what their objectives are? How do I assess, are they loyal to the president or the organizations or the country? You know, who are they as individuals? Can they be trusted, right? So a part of that assessment process is a continuum to allow you to do that. Because you're right, if something is confidential, it should stay confidential. It's not to be shared with anyone apart from the party who have the right to know, given their position in the organization. And if someone is always leaking information, at some point you can figure out who the leakers are. Sometimes it's not rocket science. But the question is, management. Here's the question.
I don't want to.
Don't with the JFF.
Hold on, I don't want to use leaker because see Brian type in here, management. Which leader are you talking? Are you talking about the true leader?
We're not talking about the individual who calls himself the leader management. It's a lowercase L, not an uppercase L. No, but the fact is, management is this: is that the problem with the JFF is, and they probably say that's not the case because we see it more recently.
Yeah.
It is penalties and the punishments and the deterrence for those things not to happen, right? There has to be a way to eliminate those situations.
Yeah.
Look, if I know I'm going to do something in the penalty environment, I might still do it, but I know the repercussions.
That is what I'm saying.
Are the repercussions severe enough to allow people to think that I'm running a risk in making such a decision?
God as boss is vexed. God as boss say, lift up Cranky. Cranky circle me now. See, Cranky, you've been at it for a while, but I cuss it up Cranky for see if come
Oh, so let me get off. Oh, well, I said I was going to get off. Let me come off. God as boss, I apologize, sir. The floor is yours. I'm gone.
All right, Cranky, thanks for that. All right, Peso and Rob, I am not here tonight to tear down. I'm being very positive, I am being very positive. I am saying these are the kind of practices that needs to be implemented in the organization to get it functioning effectively. And it begins with having a unified group of people. I put all of those pictures because I honestly believe, and I put a very small picture of CASAFA, because if CASAFA, the Paris associations, and the group of people that are there come together and work, even if there is someone among them who is going to contest the election in November, the truth is the football will be better, because regardless of who wins, the football must win. The first winner must be the football overall, not the individual who gets elected to the presidency. It is the football that must win, right? I am not here, like I said, and that is my agenda. My agenda is to share this, to let the JFF know that we are smart people who want to believe the best of them, but we need to see the best from them. We need to see the best, because everything is divided. And I cited examples. I've really only touched on three of the things. Thank you, Bridget. But listen, Gunners Boss, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And thanks to all the persons who have hit the like button so far, and those who have subscribed for the first time. The lines are open, and so you can call in. So should I go to number 4? I can leave these until we do our next video and allow the persons to call in, right? But respect me, good to see you before the game. Yeah, I think you had 2 comments. We seem to often confuse certification with education, hence the reason we struggle to get the job done, right? Yeah, you have to be able to teach people. I did a video on that you can teach people to teach, but you may not be able to coach them to play. They are 2 different things, right? And outside of this, with me, I will work with anyone who is leading the football, because I want the football to win. At all times, the football must win. And I am saying that even if someone is going to challenge the present leadership, it does not have to be done in a divisive, destructive way. That is all I'm saying. You cannot have a group of people and everybody pulling their own way. Everyone said, Rob, Rob, all right, Rob Smith. But here's the thing. Do you believe? Do you believe? Let me ask you, people. Do you believe in? This is one of my sayings, right? You always hear me say. Those of you who are normally on the channel know this. Where experience don't meet expectation, fill the gap with trust. And that simple means give people the benefit of the doubt. All right, Rob Smith. So do you agree with that? That listen, at times we need to, all right, the JFF brought on some people. They said they're turning over a new leaf. I'm observing. But I've seen some small things that didn't have to be that particular way. Hold on. What just happened a while ago? I just missed a call. I've never heard this person call. Must be a mistake. Oh. Peso. Peso, yeah. Peso, yeah. Yeah, time. Peso. Travis Peso, are you timing out the people? I wasn't even paying attention in the in the comment section. Peso. Are you Peso? Peso. But look at Peso leave the chat, man. All right, Peso, somebody just called, say you're timing them out, you know. Mannings, it unfortunately has to be done in a divisive way. Interests have to be undermined for other interests to be further highlighted, unfortunately. Really? So you don't believe that we can have an election where we are not divisive and destructive, where we don't destroy the important okay, so the timeout ended. Pesa and Big Deal, every channel me go listen, Pesa and Big Deal. Every time I go on every channel me see on the two and a quarrel. Why? What wrong with you, no man? Not big man, no man. Relax, no man. They said the timeout up. Come on, no man. Not bother do that. No. Yeah. Brian. But I like Gunners boss. Oh, no, me can't make Gunner. Me need an auditor for the. Me need an auditor for the for the yeah. Me need an auditor for the range thing for real. Me need somebody to audit the range holders them, you know. Me need somebody to audit the range holders. You understand me? Because me can't keep up. Pesa, relax, man. Pesa, brother, you get upset too easily, no man. Come on, no man. When you hear the people, you only go and make the people them trouble you, man. All right. As long as the man non disrespect, you know, we're not going to accommodate that on the channel. You understand me? So don't. As long as it's not getting disrespectful, yeah. All right, please. All right. So let's move on. Formula comment was such a good one, right? But formula, I believe, you know, two persons, and maybe somebody need to call and tell me, can two persons, like for this kind of football, run effective campaigns without dividing the football? I think it is possible. I think it is possible, right? I think it is possible for strong, healthy campaign to go on without any division and where the football is not affected. It is not affected. I find it. This is not like a election for government. You, you in undermining people, you also undermine the football, and that is where I have the problem. Go ahead. Welcome to the show, Brian. And Haiti qualified for the World Cup. Do you know that? For the Women's World Cup. They defeated Chile. So congratulations, one more Caribbean team to the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, man, it's good evening. You hearing me, sir?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man, I know that 80. Good evening to the persons in the comment section and those watching, no? Yeah, I know 80 qualified. I think,
Hold on. You know, say me have to big up me general, you know. The bomber. Bomber, the people them want to know, you know. If you're not coming to Jamaica, do some coaching, you know. All right, bless up yourself, General. Go ahead, Ansi.
what is there
Sorry.
at home? Oh,
Go
you
ahead.
forgot. Oh,
Go ahead.
man,
Brad. Sorry.
I leave the tree, man, come from. Big up and seed. No. Yeah, man, big up Bama, you know, the legend, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to big up the legend them more often, you know? Yeah, but, yeah, I know that 80 qualified. I think another CONCACAF team might qualify too, you know? I think it's Panama or some one of them country.
Yeah. Panama.
They have a playoff game, yeah. So probably might have 6 CONCACAF teams there or something like that. So yeah. I mean, but yeah, I think Formula's comment is interesting.
Mama say we send him a plane ticket and then we come coach a team. If a ticket alone you want, man, we have whole per ticket. If we hold on there.
Bama,
Careful enough.
careful, you have to ticket in a Jamaica and a Bama.
Alone you want, don't worry yourself. But go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so I mean, Formula's point is quite interesting, you know, and the reality is I think there is some truth to it in a sense. It's really sad in that's the place we're at. But I really do think there is some level of truth to it. Will it get any better? I don't know. I'm not very hopeful that it will either. I mean, just based on how we are in as a society with certain things where okay, oh, Panama just made it. Okay. I just think that where we are now, I mean, I don't know if in the base and the thing is, the people who are in the football now in terms of being in the administration and those stuff, they are some of the people who got us here. So I don't know if we'll get any much better because they don't look like they plan to leave anytime soon. So and they don't look like they plan to change a whole lot as well. So I mean I'm not that hopeful that we'll get any better in terms of the state that we are in. I think for many, many years now you have had a fight between CASAF and the JFF. I don't think I can remember a time where there have been a harmonious relationship between both. You've always had CASAF looking like a rogue agency or a rogue organization. And I said looking like because maybe they aren't. But I mean there's always been some toss up between them and the JFF and other parishes thinking that they don't necessarily want to buy into the ideas of CASAF or they don't want to, to unify with them or something to that extent.
Do you think the JFF should reach out to CASAFA and say, listen, we can't give you everything that you want, but we need to work together.
You see, the thing is, yeah, they could, but they are not going to do that. Let me tell you why.
Who not going to do that? The JFF or CASAFA? Or neither of them?
I don't think the JFF will. Because here's the thing now. You have 13 parish associations, and thus you have 13 board members who have a vote. CASAFA is only one board member, only have one vote on the board. So,
all right, hold on there. Peso, Lord have mercy. Peso, just Peso, talk to me, no man. Talk to me. Just if you keep on, the money just give you trouble, Peso. Come on, Pesa, man. Do better than that, no, man. Don't get drawn out, man. Leave big deal then, no, man. Pesa. All right, please, sir. May I ask you? All right, just don't pay attention to any comment and see what happen. And see what happen. All right, go ahead, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying Kasafa don't really have the bargaining power, because decisions made by the board don't necessarily rest with them. So the truth is, the JFF may not think they're in a position that they need to reach out to them. I don't think that they will, because also too, when you listen to some of the rhetoric or the things that are said by the Kasafa people, by and large, they are also coming to the conversation from a position of strength. So the JFF show strength, Kasafa man show strength. So it's all about who have the more strength or who is stronger. You get what I say? I mean, even the recent thing with the tier 2 thing where Kasafa is saying that it's not financially viable and stuff like that. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, because the same clubs who say them cannot play tier 2 will play in Kasafa leagues where they're not getting any money to play in it either. The last Kasafa league that was held, the people them who win don't get the money all now. And they were able to play in that competition. Now, you can argue that maybe the distance and whatever the case is, but I mean, I think because this is the thing, if they have 20 affiliates in Kasafa and you have 17 who vote that them don't want to play tier 2, you may very well have 3 teams in there who want to play tier 2, and they are being restricted from exercising that right, And I don't necessarily think that is fair. And also what you will find happening is, over time, the players are going to leave and go to other parishes or other clubs. Because I mean, there's no player who is ambitious that is going to stay and play Major League or play Champions League or whatever they call it, because there's nobody going to watch those games, or those games are not being streamed or broadcast and stuff like that. So I mean, I think they're at the end of the day, football needs to be the winner, but I think the persons who are involved on both sides, even the JFF too, I think that sometimes the decision is guided by a little bit of ego, and the fact that they think that they are right. And also, I think Kasafa's decision too sometimes are guided by ego and a will to kind of show up the powers that be, or to effect whatever change it is that they are thinking they want to effect.
Do you have any hope that the present administration can end on a good note, where we see major progress with the football?
You're talking about up until the point of the next election?
Yeah. So do you think like the present organization will make enough inroads and changes across the football that people will look and say, well, at least we see them doing some stuff now? Or you're just at the place like it's just not going to happen? There are too many potholes to fix.
To be honest, I don't think so, and I'm going to tell you why. I know that there are persons in the federation who have a desire to effect change and to make things become better, to change around stuff. The issue is, I don't think you have enough of those persons there who can really evoke the change that we need. So no, I'm not that hopeful that there will be.
Deep. Let me say it this way. I am going to believe that if they can bring in some more persons of the ilk of a Dennis Strong. I know Chris Deering is there. I'm not feeling his effect yet. Now that the Adidas deal is there, I'd love to know more definitively what his, what some of his
Well, the truth is, Mannings, there is no doubt as it relates to the acumen of some of those persons, like even Chris Deering, there can be no question asked as to whether or not he can evoke a positive change and help with the branding and the commercialization of the JFF, I mean, there's no question there. I mean, the man did it in the entire Caribbean, so I don't think it should be an issue for him to do it here in Jamaica. But um, I really do think that, I mean, I think some of the persons who have been there for a minute, and
Yeah.
they have their own idea. Because I was listening to an interview recently, I think it was on Center Circle, where they interviewed a president. I don't even remember his name, but he's a JFF president and a board director. And
A former president?
he's a parish president.
Oh, parish president. Okay.
And he was saying something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing now, that like he was just say, yo, we have fixed the problem we have, and he was sounding as if, yo, it's our problem, we know it, we create it, we fix it. We don't want outside people come in, come help you. And I mean that even when the agent of a current reggae boy player was running to be president, I wasn't so intrigued by him and the idea of him being president. But even at that time, the sentiments were being said the same. The sentiments weren't that, hey, I don't think this person is good enough to come in and help us, or I don't think we can solve our problem. The sentiment was, yo, it's our problem, you know, it's our thing. We will fix it. We don't need no outside help, or we don't need nobody from the other areas to come in, come help us. So, and I don't see that thought process changing anytime soon. And I think that's one of the major issues, because the truth is, you know, you can have people who are there
All right, let me give
who,
you a good example. All right. We heard that, and I hope he recovers and he's doing well. But one of the vice president, Mr. Bruce Gaynor, he has some illness. Is that a position that is voted for, or how does it work? Is somebody in that capacity now?
well, to be honest, I don't know, because here what it is.
I would love to know it.
I
For
don't I, I
example,
don't I
for
don't know him,
example,
because here what I don't even know what the vice president them do.
so for example, could Chris Williams be a vice president?
I
See,
suppose he could. I suppose he
if
could, because
Bruce Gaynor is not able to recover to full health, because all right, and this is the next thing where I'm saying that the organization itself, right? The organization itself need to sort itself out. Let me give you an example. So a vice president is not doing well. Are you telling me that all his functions are being carried out by someone else? And
yeah, but money,
if somebody else in a brand can do the function, do you need a vice president then? Or
money,
first or second, whatever. Go ahead.
money. The thing we need to find out first is, what is the function of the vice president, or what are the functions of the vice presidents? Because to me, based on where I sit, it just look like a title. I don't see them doing the interview. I don't see them doing the PR things. What kind of administrative work they do? Because Dennis Chung is a GenSec. There was a lady who was acting as a GenSec before. I don't remember her name now. She's in charge of operations. So I don't even know what the vice president do.
And anybody in the comment section? So there are no, as far as I know, there are no definitive and specific functions to those roles, which is the problem in the JFF.
Yeah, because I also don't think you need to be a parish president, because I think Peter Reid is a vice president and he's no longer a parish president. I'm saying
All right. So the point I'm making is, if it is not an elected position, the bomber says the vice president lifts up the president.
Mama, But reach simple, man.
So they want to for the but so if it is not an elected position but a selected position, all right, we can't get out everybody now, like I said, but can't we now bring in somebody else who will add value to the organization? Though some will say, quote unquote, we have many bad apples. Because if the person can't function,
You,
they need to be replaced. It's not like you're kicking them out, but if they're not doing good health, you could use this next 6 months to put in someone who can come in and add value in the same way Dennis Strong has come in and he has add value. Why don't bring in Chris Deering is going to come in and add value? Hal Grimson has come in and added value. Why not bring in someone in that capacity to add value?
um, I take the point that you're making, Mannings. But you wonder about that. That will never happen. Mannings, you and I both know that. But I mean, the thing is too, what I'm saying is, based on the overall construct of the JFF, the real question though is, why do we need a vice president though? Or why do we? Because I think we have 3 vice presidents. I think you have Mr. Gaynor, Mr. Reed.
Okay, yeah, man. They just said that the vice president is actually elected. So this is a person that the vote. I think they vote for the They vote for the vice presidents, man.
Yeah, no, they vote for them, but I'm saying, all right, to the best of your knowledge,
So Neo
what
is
is the
saying
role of the vice president in the JFF?
they carry out the executive functions of the JFF. They sit on committees and carry out administrative duties, which is what I'm saying. There are no clearly defined.
Yes, so Neo, what kind of administrative duties them carry out? Because as far as me know, um, when you think about it now, what kind of administrative duties do they need? Because you have the GenSec, who seem to be doing everything or is in charge of the persons doing everything. I suppose the vice president would be higher than the GenSec. So
You know what I'm going to do? I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get someone from the Federation to come and express and explain
the roles and the
the
functions of the
roles
different
and the
person.
function of the president, the roles and the function of the first vice president. That's what the title is, right?
Yeah, first, second, and third.
Second and third, because they make up the executive. We understand the role because to me, it appears like the GenSec is the person who runs the federation, the day-to-day operational functioning of the federation is predominantly in the hand of the GenSec.
But there's also a person there who they say is in charge of operations or administration. I can't remember her name now. But when Mr. Wint was out on his sabbatical, that was the person who was carrying out the functions.
All right.
It's a female. I go remember her name before I come off and tell.
So does and Robbie's raising a point that I think is very important. Is the role of the GenSec more important? And DV Group, you can answer this and let me know because you seem to be abreast of some of this, and maybe before the game, because you kind of more affair with what happens in Trinidad. All right. So let me say this: is the role of the GenSec above that of the VP? Are the functions of the GenSec above the functions of the VP? And the vice president and the president are the final approval board for things. Like they are there almost to sign off on documents and approve programs and processes. However, the role and the function of the GenSec supersedes the role and function that they play in a day-to-day capacity.
Yeah, those would be some interesting questions to be asked. I mean, because I think I saw Rob saying something about um head of technical departments. What do I
Rob
even?
said, I don't say. So, for example, let me ask. Let's say this way. So there's someone who works at the office of the prime minister, right?
Yeah.
Um, they are their function to the prime minister is way more important than the deputy prime minister.
It depends. Well. Their function may be important, but I don't. But further to Rob's question, I don't know if that person will have more authority or power than deputy prime minister, though.
That's what I'm saying, that the GenSec don't have more power because whatever needs to be approved must be done by the vice president and the president. However, when it comes on to what is done, for example, the GenSec will stand down. Like they said that the team captain was fired. Was he fired by the
The
vice
team,
president of the
the
board, or
team
was it
captain.
the team manager that they said was he fired or he stood down? The under 17 team manager, was that by the GenSec? Does he have that power?
But I don't know if he was. Well, when you say fired, meaning he's fired from the JFF.
That is what is reported. All right, so let's
That
say that he
that
did not,
report is incorrect.
he was not allowed to travel.
Oh, okay.
All right, so he was not allowed to travel. Whose call was that?
Well,
Can the
I think
GenSec do that?
I don't think the Gentech can do it arbitrarily, but I think he the president or the VPs or whoever.
I need. All right, so I need to find out how this whole
Yeah,
system works.
because the last time I was listening to your president from down here parish. What name? Um,
Danny Bedford.
yeah, he was on Ryan's show, and Ryan was asking him about the firing of a coach. You remember that coach who went to do a GPS interview and was subsequently removed from the senior team?
Yes.
He said that though the coach met with the technical committee and they recommended for him to be removed from the team, he was not fired because when they brought it to the board, it was held that there were no grounds for him to be fired. And I think Mr. Beckford was even saying that even after he was removed from the senior team, he was still being compensated his salary and stuff because he was not fired. Because he was saying that the board had to vote on what, and even the previous coach that is at your club now, they were saying too that there was a point in time where a recommendation was made for him to be fired, and the board was like, no.
Okay. So final
And
decision for hiring and firing
rest
it
with the board.
rests with the board.
That is my
So
understanding.
so the people who are working are not empowered then to make a decision because all decisions. So for example, if the tech, which is now where I have an issue, and that is why the thing must be streamlined. So say this, the technical committee wants to keep a camp in St. Anne. That has to go through the board. A
Well,
camp to select players. Is it that all things must go through the board for approval?
the technical committee, I don't think would decide on camps.
Who decides at the camp? For camp to camp to find players. You're looking for players for under 15. They want to keep one in St. Anne. Who would be responsible?
Well, I think the technical committee will be involved in it, but I think the final say would have to come from like the GenSec or something, because the GenSec would also be in a position to know if the federation can afford it
No,
financially.
all right. So the GenSec says it can afford. Who gives final approval? Is it that all things must go through the board before they, because no organization can be run like that, man.
No, but I would like to think that for something like a camp, and those stuff, then maybe the GenSec should be able to approve it. But I mean, according to Mr. Beckford, based on what he was saying, in order for a coach to be removed or hired, the board has to vote on it.
Whoa. So, I need to get some clarity on that. So you're
He
telling
said
me,
that, he said that, and he gave the example of Mr. Wade
no,
when he was saying that
fine. So you're telling me the entire board decided to hire Meron Garden. The entire board decided to hire Fuzzy. The entire board decided to hire Paul Hall, Coach Whitmore. It is the board and not the technical committee as a group.
no man, the technical committee made the recommend. Remember, I've even heard Mr. Speed say this, that the technical committee meet, them deliberate, and then they make a recommendation to the board. At that time, he said the board can either decide to accept the recommendation or to not accept the recommendation.
All right. So
He said that.
No, so what I'm saying that no, this is the problem in the JFF. Because
The issue I have with that though is there are 2 board members on the technical committee.
all right, so not only that, so how when the matches are being played, it not go through the board.
Which matches?
When the team playing in Cameroon, it never went through the board.
Well, Mannings, I don't think
It was done from the hierarchy outside of the board. So this
the technical committee?
No, not the technical committee. Remember, there is someone who is assigned to find games, look games. I don't know how. So there is. I think the whole.
Yeah, man. Because yes, so they I think Mr. Speed said that they have an agent who is employed to look games for the federation.
No. No. So this, Brian, this will. All right, we have to pick up this. I think.
Mannings, hold on before you go further. So let me just say, based on my understanding, them have an agent. Is an agent connected to the federation whose duty is to look game for the federation and thing. Now, if the agent
federation are he looks games and he negotiate his pay and like how does the process work?
Mannings, I don't know how the part they work. Who pay him and where negotiate. I'm just saying that a part of his engagement is to look games.
Okay.
I think so. If him find a game, let's say him find a game down a Rwanda against Rwanda national team, and him come and him say 10,000 US to go to Rwanda, and and he's come to the federation and said this. I'm assuming that them have to go to the board. For the board say we can't afford to spend 10,000 US to go play Rwanda. Yes, we can 20 to go play them.
I don't think so, but
unless the federation rules afford for a committee to make that recommendation, or a person, probably in the role of the GenSec or a VP or whoever it is.
Hold on there. Peso, brother, you can't stop. Peso, you can't. Peso and Big Deal. Then listen, I can't manage this in the comment section, brother. When of you call each other, Peso, what wrong with you, man? Talk some football, some sports, now, man. Y'all they say a big man. Be a big man, now, man. Be a big man. Talk some sports in this thing. Tell me how the GFF board work. All right, go ahead, Brad. Neil says, I just saw thing you said that the GenSec. Oh, geez, I missed that. From before.
So Neil said the VP carry out some of the functions of the president. They initiate these and take over actions which the board must later approve or disapprove. Okay.
So do not read Big Deal comments.
Man, I've got time about the 2 of them.
Big Deal. Do not read Peso comments. Can't believe this. Jason, well, me can't get Fresh God, deal with the man them for me. Fresh God, talk to the man them. Rob, talk to him for me. We can't.
I met Brethren deal with it.
Yeah, before the game says the Gensec is responsible for the day-to-day running of the MA. Yeah, that's what I know.
All right. So what me I say is, Marines, you have to get somebody to come explain it to you, because you see, based on what Mr. Beckford say, it seems like a lot of the decisions them are made at the board level. No, I agree though that there are some decisions that you won't need to necessarily go to a board, but or maybe them just want a quorum. Me don't know how them work it out. Maybe they only need a quorum. I say I have 30 members on the board who can vote. And I think when Mr. Chung was the chairman of the finance committee, he sat on the board as a non-voting member. And I think Mr. Speed sat on the board too as the chairman of technical committee as a non-voting member.
Yeah.
Then I don't know how they work it out, brother.
Boy. But I think this is where the processes in the organization need to be clearly outlined. Now, a few minutes left, but let me ask you this. Have you heard from any of the persons who went with the team? I mean, anybody in the comment section, have you heard from anyone who went with the team to the under 17? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if they're back. I haven't watched the sports news. I don't know if they arrived back in Jamaica yet.
Some of the players. I know that one player is back for a fact. I don't know how he can get back, but I know that I've seen one player back for a fact.
Okay, so the coaching staff came back
I don't know.
under the cover, dark.
I don't know, but I'm saying I saw a player for a fact. So that player, if he is back here, they are back here too.
Yeah, so no one. We all know their departure time, but no arrival time.
Yeah, but Marines, I'm sure you won't hear anything from them. It's become the norm these days. They will submit their report to the technical committee, who will deliberate and decide the next course of action or recommendation. But I mean, we won't necessarily hear from them.
I'm one somebody in the next jurisdiction who understands what happens.
The truth is that they don't. Let me know about that.
What I'm saying is that when there's a field campaign at the national level, and there is a document prepared about what caused the failure, shouldn't that be in some way through a press conference, either to clear the coaches?
I don't think it must be, but I guess it's more of a courtesy that they would extend.
Okay, all right.
Because they may tell you that the public don't employ them, so them talk to who employ them. I'm telling you that's what they're going to say.
Okay.
I know for a fact that's what they're going to say. But
okay, I have something here that says the General Sec. The General Sec is responsible for national men's team coach, national women's team coach, technical, finance, governance and regulation, events and competition, and commercial. Underneath, like events and stuff, international matches, domestic matches, national call-up conferences and gathering, and the events and competition, sales and marketing, sponsorship, advertising, broadcasting, ticketing, merchandising, hospitality, and the national men's and team coach, team selection, coaching and development for A squad. They look like the Gensec run the federation.
No, but the Gensec does run the federation. Because that's the truth, because a lot of the things that happen, they happen on his watch. So he or she is the one that is held accountable in most instances. When something go wrong or something go good, they get the credit.
Okay. Whoa. So all of these departments, they actually report to the Gensec.
To the Gensec. Correct.
Who then reports to the board?
Correct.
But does it?
or report to the president or something.
But
to
the
that effect.
Gen 6 sits on the board, so okay.
No, the Gen 6 don't sit on the board.
Oh,
No, man. This JFF board, the Gen 6 don't sit on it.
okay, okay. Gunners boss, so you tell Cranky to come off the line and you don't call in. What kind of business is that? Neo here says the board of directors represent the legislative branch, the Congress, and the president. VPs and committees are the executive. The executive carry out action and the board of directors approve and advise. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That the executive, the board, they're just for approval. So all the vice president do on the president is to approve things. It's to read it
Or not approve it.
or not approve. That's all they do. They don't have no other functions. Then okay, all right, I approve this. Yeah, man, that approve. That's it. That's what the president does. And so I don't know that we need three of them. we just need like we have a president and there's a vice president. I think you need a president and a vice president. So if something goes wrong with the president, there is a vice president.
Yeah, but we have 3 vice presidents.
That is
So
why I want to know.
I think the three of them. I think one is in charge of finance. One is in charge of
They're not in charge of it though.
when we say in charge of it, not necessarily like run it day to day, but I think the overall operation of it falls under their purview. I think Mr. Reid is the VP in charge of financing. I think finance falls under his portfolio or his list of duties or
So
area.
when Dennis Chang was the head of finance, right?
He was head of a finance
committee. Reid was on the committee. Or was it that Chung was on Reid's committee?
I don't know, but Mr. Chung was the head of the finance committee. He was the chairman of it.
Okay.
And just like Mr. Speed is the chairman of technical committee.
So which okay, so there's a
So I think one of the VP has responsibility for finance.
Yeah.
One has responsibility for technical and development.
Yeah.
And I think one has responsibility for operations.
Okay. So
I think the gentleman from Portland is responsible for operations. Whatever. I don't know.
So
But
Raymond Anderson is over operation.
Peter Reid is over
finance.
and Mr.
Bruce
Gaynor is over technical and development.
Technical and development. And
That is my understanding. I could be wrong, you know. I could very well be wrong, but I could very well be wrong.
Yeah, Rajic Sharp, I'm going to do that, but Ryan LFC know what God, so he's going to give us some insight. Ryan LFC.
Ryan Jine?
Yeah.
Yo, Rima, what go on, brother? Yo, Rima, you're in a trouble, you know, but I'm going to link you off here, because you're in a trouble, brother.
What?
Go on still.
What mean that trouble for? We coach and get evicted.
What I'm say?
I don't know. He might ask you what he's in trouble. What he's in trouble for.
You link him off here, man. Don't worry about it. Just to make you know from now. So I'm link you, you know you're in a trouble.
Lord God, every team me there a problem, brother.
LFC, what go on?
Anyway, good evening to
Yeah, all right. We are trying. When last you talk to Demo?
Demo. Me talk to him. I when the All-Star game play.
Recently, we are talking. Recently. Can we can't find him, you know?
Lick up, man. Him good.
Really? Because he was on the stream saying that Liverpool going to win by 3-1. And from the game go 2-2. We don't hear from him or see him again.
Demo always a set up himself. I don't know why. He need to be realistic, Reggie. Anyway, the reason why I'm coming on to the show, you know, who is the person in between Wendell Downswell and Bruce Gaynor?
Me not answer the question there. What you mean?
No man. Mannings man design the thumbnail, you know. Him know me attack.
Oh,
Oh.
Mannings, bring up the thumbnail to see the Mannings.
Bring up the thumbnail, Mannings. Cause me a shoot tonight, you know. And all
Mannings, bring up the thumbnail. Because me not see it.
expressed by Ryan LFC. So they come for me. Bring up the picture of the Mannings.
All right, let me see if we can. Let me remove. Okay, all right. Me see how we are talk. No man, he's just part of the. So let me. All right, let me remove this and go sub. Let me remove this first. You say you want it? You want to see the thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we talk.
I think it's Mr. Wilkes, cause he was just thing there. He was the person that they.
You can't bring up the picture up on the stream.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna bring it up, man. I'm gonna bring it up. We just need to.
Denzel Wilkes.
Huh?
Mr. Wilkes.
Yeah, because he sits on one of those things as well.
Yeah, man. He's on the technical committee.
Is it technical committee?
Yeah, man. I think he's on the technical committee.
But he's
Isn't Denzel Wilkes the person from SDF?
SDF, yeah.
Yeah, man. He's on the technical committee.
Yeah, I think that is the person Ryan is talking. Let me
Go on
see.
to him now.
More know the people.
That is it, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Me know only one person me never know upon it another person. Because I see him, I think me saw him at the thing.
Right.
More all of the person.
He's the one that they gave the he got a because they are one of the biggest sponsors. They were one of their the social SDF.
Social Development Fund.
They were one of the largest sponsors during the World Cup campaign. Cause
yeah, man, they're a government agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, them give money, man, because I think them even give a grant to the Premier League teams now too. That's how them get the money through the Chase Fund.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So him not part of the gang at 12.
I don't know about the gang, you know. I'm telling you that he's on the technical committee. He's on the speed committee.
All right. Mannings, man, why you take down the picture, Mannings, man?
Oh, no. Oh, me never know if... Lord have mercy, man. Me never know, say. I thought, because you said that is the one person you wanted to know. So that's why I do that.
Put the picture up back, man. Put it up back.
All right, so let me go back. Let me go back and find it. Bam. All right.
Right. I tell the people of Jamaica.
All right, so this is the picture. Yeah. There you go.
12 people that 2, 4,
6,
8,
10.
10. And Cassava make 11.
11. So all of these people, I think, unless they start, and the whole point of this is that unless the people start working together, if them people don't work together, there's no hope for World Cup 2026.
Brother, them not work together, brother.
Man, they can take out Mr. Beckford because them not work with him.
No,
or him not work with them.
No, that not gonna cause problem because isn't he a part of the board that vote for things? So if he's not a part of them, then won't there be a lot of objection?
Yeah, but he might just one vote, so they might just go around team vote.
Mannings.
Yes, sir.
This is the thing now. Bruce Gainer. Good at speed. Thank you very much for your service. Stay at Cavaliers. Improve Cavaliers. Go on. You fail. Key coach higher. Fail. Thank you very much. Appreciate your service. Donzel, you're a part of 4 World Cup. Very good guy. But not the charisma we need right now to take the football to the next level. Thank you. Go and help Westmoreland. Go and help Reader. Build back Reader. Bring them back to the Premier League. Thank you very much. Danny Beckford, I hear you do a lot of work on a center, but it's just time to give a younger person a chance in the football federation. Go on, man. Please. Just go. You do well. You do your time. We need to see a young head. Now, Raymond and this, I hear you causing havoc in the football federation. Brother, you there in there from me a baby, from me a ball boy, a boy stone football club. Time for you leave. President, you feel till die, kingdom come. Go. Rice him, sir. Thank you. Manager, same thing. You make a lot of mistake. You not get fired, but it coming soon if you not fix up. Time for go. Dennis Strong, Chris Smith, Chris William, on stay. And if we find out on the not work it or work it, on the must go. Simple as that.
You want to cassava?
How-
Cassava picture is there too, you know. What's happened with cassava, Ryan?
Yo, you mute, Ryan. If you're talking, mute.
Ryan, why? Oh,
Cas- Where
Ryan,
say?
why? What to cassava? Cassava picture up there too, you know.
Them need to go to brother. Them not a unit. Them don't know what they want. Them need to go to. Them are, bro, may I tell you, say, until we leave, all of them man they leave, the football not going to away. The football not going away. They think speed love it, but him approve me say him not love it. Cause him make take over and over. So him not love it.
Yeah. Pesa say cassava worse than the GFF. Oh boy. All right, video what Neo. Neo have a very interesting comment right here. He says this, right? He says they are united in a disunity that keeps the GFF chugging along. There has been some additional competencies added, but overall the bones of the JFF are still brittle. And that is what I'm saying.
Truer words were never spoken.
Yeah, I feel like
Can't get no better than that.
as they add people, they are going to do some things, but they're such like the people within the organization itself, and I'm talking about from the highest level, they're not working together, and that is the issue, you know. They're not you see, they're not working together. If they would only work together, you understand me? We have we had all man, we had do up so late.
Yeah, but maybe, we just I feel that it, so me know the comment one on there. So me there the comment, me have to the comment that on pharmacy and I know chill
Please
so.
don't change the format.
Big,
Don't bother change the format. Stick to it. Please.
Ryan, I talk to you.
you hear me say? Ryan,
Ryan, I
the
talk to you.
man,
Ryan
big
said,
up yourself, Ryan.
Ryan said, please don't change your format. Stick to it.
Ryan, hey, big deal. Here and service in the comment and one, but me have to hand over chill to them, brother. Me have done pharmacy, so it's like say, yeah, you know, you see it. so you have now. Since Ryan come on, Ryan have some better information. I'm going to listen to what Ryan has to say and call me.
All right.
Because you call me. I'm listen to what Ryan has to say. Ryan a bad man. I'm afraid I'm in a one thing to me feel circle me at circle.
Ryan, they run the man off of the phone. You make the man stick to it and him gone. Yeah.
Gunners boss are the general man, but tonight is not the playtime Gunners boss. So the right thing that tell them. Respect you for that. Big man thing. Big up yourself, brother. Really appreciate the love and the support they give to me. Alright, but no the time for
But I have this important text. It says the strangest thing is that they are tearing down the system that they created, as they all are the persons that voted in the people, including the president who was voted in, right? And then the person goes on and says, the person who scouts players, and secure games, this person has been doing this from captain's time. And I want to know, does this person work for the JFF, or the person is like an independent person who who benefits from the game by negotiating it, and why can't somebody in the JFF take on that task? Is it so difficult for a federation to find game? Does the Canada Football Association or Federation have somebody independent that find games for them? Does the US Soccer Association have somebody who find games for them? Trinidad and Tobago, Panama, or do they have persons employed to the organization who probably one of their vice presidents or their operation manager who is responsible for that? Why is Jamaica like giving this out to what I'd call a third party? Right. You understand what I'm asking, Ryan? Why somebody's out there doing this? Shouldn't the coach be the one who says, listen, I want a game and see if we can get these team in these groups, and somebody in the JFF do it? Or should this person just go ahead and find games and tell the coach that this is the game that you have? Go ahead. Right.
It's all about the money, brother. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. The JFF lazy. Yeah, you know, have enough experience, the person we're going to give that role. But this organization don't plan to bring the future of Jamaican football to the next level. They're lazy. They're lazy, bro. Until we get these lazy people out, we're still going to stay at the one place, Mr. Mannings, man. Until we move out them people, we're not going to. We have a brilliant coach. Yeah, brilliant coach. And I would love for everybody to give the coach a chance to see what him can do. But one thing me know, giving the coach a chance, but with the basement the coach will have to succeed. What they put in place for the coach, build up the framework on the house and put it up on the roof and the success. No framework, brother. They need to get somebody else to get games. But guess what? They broke in their own same stuff every single day. They're not trying to change. So if that person there, forgive me. If that person something happened to that person, what are we gonna do? We depend on other people to do things too much. We need to depend on ourselves to do things. You understand?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, the other day I do a video and me I tell you say, it not get no better. And me just sorry you all Grims coming at this for mess up his reputation. Coach run, you know. Cause me tell you this coach all Grims if you listen.
Yeah.
Don't make them comfort you. Don't make them comfort you and promise you.
Okay.
Yeah. Say you feel and me have to go make video and say, coach you out. But me not go ever say about all Grims say out. All when him do bad. The man them at the federation for out. Cause the same coach who I have over 5 different coaches and I see him problem at the same level. And Jeff never take blame for nothing. Tired right now, man. It's any man find a picture they want vex. Boy, not just vex, but at the reality. Just give somebody else a chance, make them feel, man. And a campaign me depend. You just go and hold the positivity over there. The rest of vlogger them, but me, I'm going to
Yeah. You say take out the leather belt.
beat to that king.
Yeah. Right, bless up. You understand me? Don't make your wife put you out in the doghouse, go on go on a bed. Yeah, man. Thank you. Before the game says each MA should have an event and competition department. Some MAs work with a match agent. All right. Um, those questions are from Mr. Chung. I'm going to see if we can really ask him that because I like to find out before, I become critical. I like this comment from Roderick. He's kind of sharing similar sentiments to what Cranky said earlier. And, there's a book called Good to Great. You understand me? You have to get the right people in the right seat on the bus. You understand me? That's very important. But management, could we ask the same thing getting the Adidas sponsorship? I personally don't find a problem having third party help. No, but all right. So if you're gonna have a third party help DV group, I hear you. What I want to know, because remember now, if this is the person who is independent, a good example is, and the coach brought it up, on on at least 3 occasions the Cameroon game. Because if you listen to the first interview that he did and the second interview about the Cameroon game, when the head coach spoke about it, because this is how I know the agent cannot just work independent of the coach. In fact, I don't think the agent, the match agent, should negotiate games without getting the outline and the plan for the team from the head coach. Because here's what, remember, for those of you who listen to the press conferences around the Cameroon game, before and after, one of the big things the coach mentioned was what was the football reason for traveling all the way to Cameroon to play one game with local players that may not be in future squad. Watch this, when you only had like 1 day to prepare. So even if there is a third party, this third party must work in collaboration with the coach. In other words, it is the coach, and I said it earlier, the coach must say, listen, there are 6 windows between now and the end of the year. And for all 6 windows, we want 2 games. Here are the teams that we have in Pool A and the teams in Pool B. Every window, arrange a game between a team from Pool A and a team from Pool B. That is how I think it should be. It cannot be that an agent just go and find any team he or she finds and then says, this is the team that I found. This is the team you're supposed to play against. This is where the game is going to be. Yeah. So being a match agent is an occupation. They are governed by FIFA. Match agents arrange matches between teams belonging to different confederation. Gunners boss says, I agree, no private owner of football club should have a position in the JFF. Think he's suggesting that there is conflict of interest. We have Unseen, who has joined the scene so late. So I'm going to give him the last word.
I hear my name earlier and I wasn't on the stream, so you know, at least I'm seeing.
Yeah, man. What say you? And people, let me tell
Well,
you, let me say it again. Hold on, Unseen. Let me tell you, I think there's a lot of good things happening in the football. But I think fundamentally, for us to get to the 2026 World Cup, the unity must begin now. And even if you go against the person in an election, we must work together while we contest each other. Go ahead, Unseen.
yes, man is man, and I think in any organization, if you don't have unity, it will just fall apart. And you know, over the years, JFF has failed us miserably in terms of organizing themselves and just putting the right things in place for the players to feel good when they go out on the field and just focus on football. They have to most of the time come to games and really un you know unsatisfied with certain circumstances, late for everything, and certain things are just not in place for the professional players, and it just look away. You understand? I mean, I think no, I think we as fans giving them a clean slate now, management, for them to do the right thing. But if they don't get the house in order in terms of fixing some of the issues that was plaguing them, we can kiss 2026 goodbye if they don't fix it. Al
Yeah.
Grimsey is not Jesus, and
Yeah.
and 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 he's a coach, and we know a lot of things that can affect coach when they're going to prepare themselves for tournaments. And if the management and the structure around preparing for that tournament is not fixed, Grimso will not take us to the World Cup, or the players will not play up to
Yeah.
par.
And I think he has a very important role. I think he will have to help in establishing some clear systems of operation within the federation to enable him to get the best results. He's going to have to insist on certain things and say, listen, here are the things I want to be done. You know,
Right? When if you ask me right now, I think he's the president.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about
Right
that
now, if
part,
you
but
ask me, I think he's the president because everything that he said it's just even the database thing that he talks about, man, it just shocked me to see that the JFF don't have a database system to track players, from under 15 come right up to the senior team. It's
But I,
like,
I will tell you though, unseen, it's not a Jamaica problem, I suspect this is right across the Caribbean. Though we are focusing on Jamaica football, I think it's across the Caribbean problem. I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think Trinidad and Tobago or St. Lucia or Barbados, a lot of the other territories in the Caribbean, they have a comprehensive database.
but man, we are the number one team in the Caribbean, so I guess we should be a team that the other Caribbean nations would look at and say, hey, I want to, step on the same step that Jamaica is stepping on. But there's nothing there to look at. You understand me? No database to track these players. Al Grims have to come and say, hey, we are developing a database, which is one of the most difficult thing for him at the moment. And, for the other coach to come in to so that he doesn't start from scratch, man. It doesn't look good. It look like, hey, we are back against the wall.
Yeah. But what I think I want to do, because we also have to challenge the fan base, because again, I think, I think a big part of our fan base is a problem, especially when it comes on to how we dialogue about present, past, and prospective players.
True.
Like we can be disrespectful to past players. We disconnect from present players, and some of us dislike prospective players, and those things need to be dealt with, right?
Yes, man.
In other words, we have to show respect to the people who lay the foundation. And sometimes how we speak, sometimes how I hear people talk about the past players, it almost like being ungrateful. That's one. Number two, the present players. We have to be more mindful of how we talk about them. And there's one player, for example, that you prefer over another. Nothing is wrong with that, because 10 brothers, 10 different minds. So you can say Jack is better than John. Nothing is wrong with that. But we don't have to disrespect this one so that we can credit this one. We can say, well, I prefer this player over this one because. All right? So let me give you a good example. I think it was somebody asked me a question about Dwight McNeil and Kaheem Paris. And both of us are right. Dwight McNeil is playing in one of the highest leagues in the world, or the highest league in the world. He plays regularly. Of course, he is going to be seen as a better player because he's playing in a better league at the present time. But Kaheem Paris may have a higher ceiling than he does, and maybe even a more talented player. Kaheem Paris is the first player from his club Copa to be sold for $1 million. Now, if Kaheem Paris was in France and he did what he did at Copa in France, his value would be around $40 million.
True.
You understand me? If Kaheem Paris did exactly what he did in Copa in Jamaica, somebody would want to pay 50,000 US for him. He does it at Copa. So the market determines your value. So Dwight McNeil is got values like $17 million in England, 17 on transfer market, right? But when you take out the tax and all of those things, it's not really a lot. So because both players are good, the choice is up to the coach. Is the coach wrong if he picks Kaim Paris? No. Is the coach wrong if he picks Dwight McNeil? No. And that is how we have to have the conversation. Because we should not be dismissive of Kaheem Paris. And we should not be dismissive of Dwight McNeil. But
True.
here's what I'll say. The players, I believe, who are in any 20-man squad that we're going to pick, the players are, you have to be better than Leon Bailey. Right now on form, Bobby Reed, and a player who's going to be here in the near future, Demarai Gray, Jamal Lowe, and then you have you still have a Kaim Paris because those players play there. Now, you have to be playing better than them to break in. So the question I'm going to ask, is this player better than the top three? Because you really need, when you select a squad of 20, you need 3 wingers. You need one for the right, one for the left, and one that can play on either side.
Man, I think you need all of them, to learn the system because any number can play.
Unseen. And this is what I'm going to say to you. We cannot, I said it yesterday, they're outside of Jamaica alone, there are over 826 players. You cannot need all of them. You cannot.
No. We are go too far now. We're gone 800. That was the name that you mentioned.
No, but all right, so follow what I'm saying. We don't even call CFAS yet.
No, CFAS should have to be one of the person who get a call up.
All right, so let's work on wingers alone. So the coach is going to call a 20-man squad. So here are all the wingers that we think should be called. CFAS, Paris, Demarai Gray, Dwight McNeil, Bobby Reed, and also Jamal Lowe. Omari Hutchinson. That's 7 wingers alone. That's in the team. So 13 more spaces. 3 goalkeepers. That's 10 players. 30, right. 3 goalkeepers. That's 10 players. So now, when you select 4 defenders, 6 players, 3 midfielders, you only have 3 players left. So you don't have any replacements in defense or in midfield. Because you have 6 wingers. You cannot call 6 wingers.
No, you can't call 6 wingers, man.
But isn't that what I'm... And Bailey, I didn't even call Bailey. And these are... All right, so let's go to the wingers alone. Leon Bailey, Demarai Gray, Bobby Reed. Then you have Jamal Lowe, CFAS, Kaheem Paris. 6, right? So we don't call the forwards yet. Omari Hutchinson, 7, because I didn't call Omari Hutchinson. That's 7 players right there. All right? You have to pick 3 goalkeepers. That's 10 players. So now you only have spaces for 10 players. You don't call none of your forwards yet. So you go Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Kemar Roof. And people are going to say, whisper, 4. It can't work. Some players are not going to be called. Because here's what's going to happen. If the coach calls up and keep on changing, then we're going to say, why is he chopping and changing so much?
People are surprised themselves. Them are agreeing on money. What they ask question?
All right, so people in the near future, like I said on the video, I am fingers crossed for the Mexico game. There may be a delay, but definitely for the Gold Cup, I believe he will be around. All right? So when you go to, so that's that. When you go to defense, 23 man, 3 goalkeepers. When you go to remember we don't call the defenders, we don't call the centre back. If you're playing 2 centre back, you need a minimum of 4 centre backs. Because if you have a left-sided one and a right-sided one, you need a right-sided replacement, a left-sided replacement. You need a right back and a left back. You need a right-sided replacement on both sides. So it is. Go ahead.
So man, what I was saying is we're not calling up 7 wingers or 6 wingers, you know. It's just our agreements to have, you know, so that they know the system that Al Grimson using. So for example, say 3 out of the 6 wingers injured, right? Cephas is left, Hutchinson, and then the other, and one more. Now, they are not integrated into Al Grims's system. When them come in now and them, you know, because, you know, our system's set up, we don't know if these players are coming for a 4-day session before the training, before the match, maybe 2 days. How them are going to learn, how them are catch a system for go out on the field for play Al Grimson's system? Man, that's the question. That's why I say we need those top wingers name because we need them. Not saying that all of them going to get called at the same time. We need them.
All right. Here's what I'm saying though. All right. So you have to call some more players. People say we need Connor Boyce Clark, right? People say we need Delano Splott. We need Lemba Kesey. We need Zach Lovelace. We need Kiddo Taylor Hart. We need Isaac. So when you check the name, all I'm saying is that there are over 800 players. And if you go to a 20-man squad, that's 2.5%. 2.5%. So let me give you 3. 3 in every 10 player. So every time the coach selects the team, 7 out of every 10 player in a particular position will not be called up. Will not be called up. And it don't mean that they are not good. Because at the end of the day, unseen, and there you go. And remember, I don't call one player who played in Jamaica. Not one. None of them. I'm just talking about players. And here Andy Williams saying that you need local players. So we are saying that. No, what I'm saying, I'm just showing you. And because we are saying now, Richard King and Topi won't even get any call. And because I'm just giving you numbers of those outside of Jamaica, from USA to Europe. So at what point do we stop this whole heap of team selection and leave the coach? When do we do that as fans and leave the coach and allow the argument? When is the coach allowed to select who he believes best fits into what he's trying to do? You remember when Rennie Simoes come, right? Andy Williams Bama can tell you this. There are some players in the senior team that over time they got replaced by players like Andy Williams. You understand what I mean? You understand what I mean? Right?
Yes. Easy at all. Easy.
I mean, people say that Trevante Stewart is a good forward. Some people say that he mustn't give a chance. If he's good, so yeah. After a while, you have this whole thing. We don't ever call Daniel Green. It's like Daniel Green name get forgotten.
Yeah, because I'm going in one league where they don't really recognize. That's one of the reasons, man.
Where the youngster from? Where they North Macedonia? Him there playing very well for Cavaliers. Was at Rossies and he went to Cavaliers. Campbell. Kenroy Campbell, him name. Him just moved the other day, man. Yeah, Cavaliers. Man. The left footer there from Cavaliers that overseas. Man doing well. Huh?
Not Macedonia, one of them.
Or Montenegro or something like that.
Montenegro, yeah.
Montenegro. The man doing well. There's a youth that just got drafted. He got drafted to New York Red Bulls. Mother and father Jamaican. Thinking him a Johnny Reed.
Even the player you interviewed the other day
Yeah,
look good. Look good on the stats.
you
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
Delano Splat. So at the end of the day, I think as the fans, the fans,
Man is man.
Jason, here's what I believe. I don't believe when the coach is, I know this coach, he's not selecting. So for those of you who think like, listen, the coach already knows this, and all of us know this. The local league, the best players from Jamaica leave. The local league is not the best quality. So here's the thing. I don't think the coach is ever thinking, okay, I'm going to play Mexico. And I don't want nobody from playing overseas. I'm going to just be used. No. And I don't think the coach is going, I'm going to play Mexico. I don't want nobody from Jamaica playing locally. I don't think he selects his squad based on overseas or local. He
To
selects his
start.
squad. I think he selects his squad based on who he believes is best able to execute what he wants. And that doesn't matter. And therefore, I believe that the majority of our team, on most occasions, will be the players playing outside of Jamaica.
Professional league. You're going up against
Yeah, because
professional
they're going to go
players.
against professional. But some of these guys, I think that's what I'm saying that. I said it before, I'll say it again. Guys like King need to move from Jamaica.
But one thing though, man, is man. When I had this reasoning this man with Prodigy 30. He's saying that none of the local players are good enough to make the team. So I am saying whether they are good enough or they don't good enough, a local based player is vital for Jamaica qualification to World Cup. Right? He must say a madness matter. Some say to him, say, what happened to when time a player cannot reach to a particular tournament? And the quickest player to reach into the team is a Jamaican player. How that part they go? A local based player. A lot of
Yes.
things here mean a man is man.
Here's the problem. And I think the people, if you're playing in England in the Premier League, there it's highly unlikely that a player playing in the JPL is better than you. Highly unlikely. Okay? So the coach has Ethan Pinnock and needs a centre back. And he says, listen, Ethan Pinnock plays on the left. I am playing against El Salvador. Let me call and play Richard King beside him. I don't see anything wrong with that. He doesn't have to. He could also call oh geez, I keep forgetting his name. He could call Curtis Tilt as an example. Nothing is wrong with that. So in the same way, I don't have a problem with him calling Curtis Tilt. My issue is we make who the coach select a problem because we see it as domestic and international when the coach is not looking at it like that. The coach is looking at it as here is what I want to do, and I think in this game, this player will best get it. Every coach that I have known, they have made wrong choices, and they have made surprise choices that have worked out well. A good one is that King, when King came into the Jamaica team, many of us would not have called him.
True. True.
And when he came in, to be fair, he did not disappoint us.
True.
Richard King, when he has played for Jamaica, has not disappointed. And
Man is man. I know me have a story. Somebody tell me, oh, Richard King met the team. I get called up.
then everybody know. Everybody know, you know.
Share
It's
it,
not
man.
like
Share it.
No, you can check. But it's not like Richard King was supposed to be in the team any at all.
Was in the team.
Yeah,
There are other names given to the coach, and then a particular person say, "Hey man, no man, this player has been playing better than this player in the league. So use this player." I remember when him go, him never play in a play in a play. He never play when him go the first time. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I see. Bravo, Rage. Here's the thing. I can understand why you'd feel that way. And listen, I can't question your that is your opinion. One thing I know the integrity of this coach, and this coach not putting nobody in his side to make no profit. That
True.
I'm certain of. All right, but again, it is your opinion. I know that when Richard King got into the Jamaica side, it wasn't about profit or for any club.
It was well deserved. It was well deserved. He was playing on the one of the best
When
best
he
centre
when
back
he
in the
got
league.
called up, I can tell
When
you
he
that
got
when Daniel Green got called to Jamaica side, it wasn't for Mount. Listen, Mount Pleasant don't need no. Mount Pleasant don't need nobody to play for Jamaica. I can tell you that. So when Daniel Green got called, Mount Pleasant wasn't looking to sell him or get caps. No, at the end of the day, again, I understand, your sentiment. But I just think, like Jason says, too many of us have become coaches instead of fans. And a lot of the things that we say, I believe, destroys the very football. I think the fan base is just as divisive as the federation is.
The man is why you know you can't stop that though. No, you can't stop the fans, you know.
Yeah, yeah, but I just said that. Listen, how many are you? How many? And again, we keep going over the same thing. All right, so let me say it again. I spoke to Milton Griffiths. I did an interview. Go and watch it. We said it over and over. We have a league in Jamaica that there are no stars. Nobody in their right mind would come and say the best players for Jamaica are locally. Nobody would say that. Leon Bailey, Shamar, all our good players leave. So we know that. All the best Jamaican players don't stay in the league. Let me say it again. The best Jamaican players don't stay in the local league. That is why the league is the way it is. Yeah, man, Andy, and if you listen to Milton Griffiths this morning, you need to listen to him, right? The best local players are overseas. That does not mean that the coach cannot see a local talent that he calls in the side. What I'm saying is that because we believe the best player overseas, we basically want to tell the coach who to pick. And if he picks somebody that we disagree with, then it's like war and thing.
Yeah, there must be a biasness.
Yeah. Yeah. So the coach may, I just said it. The coach may pick Richard King.
Cause yeah.
See, Andy Williams saying it. The best local players must be overseas. They have to be over there. They're not going to grow so far in the league. So everybody agrees with that. But could the coach call Whisper?
Of course.
No, not exactly. Could the coach call King for
Of course.
the Mexico game? Because
Of
he has
course.
reason.
A lot of reasons
So
why.
I don't know why we start saying, it's Richard King. It don't matter. The coach has. Hey, Bama, me have got interview. Hey, Bama, me have got interview again for you tell. I'm going to interview if you tell them some of them story. Don't you agree that there are many players who are overlooked after performing and earning a contract overseas in favor? All right. Yeah, man. All right. So, Andy, we're going to line it up and do it. Bravo. Tell me one player, because I'm talking to you about Coach Hal Grimson. So, tell me the one player that Coach Hal Grimson has overlooked in the... So, he has done the Argentina game and the Cameroon game. That's what I'm speaking about. He has 2 games against Trinidad coming up. One against Guatemala and Mexico. Give me the facts to support that. And if you do, that's what I'm talking about. Tell me the players that are overlooked. Give me the many players. Give me the players who are overlooked, who have the requisite stuff to play for Jamaica. Give me 5 of them. Come on, man. So Bama, we're going to shout you and make you come talk to the people then. But every person must desire, all the players must desire, that they must have a desire to go and play overseas. And I keep on telling you, listen, I said it when? Was it yesterday? If Richard King continues to stay in Jamaica, he will not make our national team. He cannot improve at the level to stay here and play and be a starter in Jamaica national team. There are too many players who want to play for Jamaica, playing at a higher level than him. He has to find a way to move. I can tell you this. I don't think Richard King is improving. I don't think Busy is improving. I think they are just better than the players. But I think they have stopped growing because the league plateaus up to a certain point. See, Milton Griffiths this morning, Bunny said this, and Messam was on the program. Here's what the man have said, unseen. They thought they were fit how they were running. When they got to Mexico, to Brazil, they said the only player that who passed the physical test was the one player who was playing professionally. You know who the player was? Freddie Butler. Everybody else failed. And listen, remember people used to say that Messam was one of the fittest players in the Premier League. Bunny was one of the fittest players in the Premier League. The man them got the fitness test at Brazil and only one pass. So you see Richard,
man is man.
You think Trevante Stewart not fit enough? In fit for Jamaica League?
That's not rocket science, man is man.
Okay.
I want some team I train one time for the day. So if you fit, yeah, go work. You got a tank well go work. Go lift up iron. Or if you fit on the professional players. The man is man, it's impossible.
Yeah. If Busy don't leave Jamaica, you like Duncan McKenzie, I go grow past him. You cannot stay. Boy, family, that's a question we have to ask Rudolph Speed. We can't, the one over my pay grade, sir. But a Cavalier player just leave last year.
And man is man. People understand there are 2 different types of fitness in the football. You know? You're supposed to know them.
Hold on there. Bravo. Oh my God, man. Kenroy Campbell has been called to the national team. He was called to the team. He got called. You forgot that, what was it, Catalonia?
Yeah.
He was called to the team.
He played one of the games, yes.
And he just left last year. Before he left, to be fair, when Ricardo Thomas was at Waterhouse, man. Oh, come on, Nancy. You can't. You couldn't put. You couldn't put Campbell over him. To be fair, if you watch the league. When I say Cephas is better than Busy, coming out of them. Listen, when Busy came out of Manning, I don't know if Busy still in Jamaica. When Busy, that last season, when Busy Atkinson was at KC, that youth was a big standout. Cephas at that time, Cephas broke out in the pandemic games. And
second season.
There you go, sir. It was because that season when the league was being played and when Cavaliers won, Busy was dropping ball, brother. So to
The
say
first
that,
is
yeah, the first season, so and it's a youth just coming out of school. Cephas was ahead of him. So to say that, of course, Cephas deserves a call. And right now, Cephas probably deserves more of a call because Cephas playing overseas. Campbell
Cephas
going to
has
go ahead
scored
of,
goal.
yeah,
Cephas has scored
Campbell going to
goal.
go ahead of Tom at them on there. So we have to talk about things in the like when it happened, and we can't look what's happening now and then say that should have happened then. So we have to be careful, all right?
Very good.
Yeah.
But one is, man, I believe the coach supposed to, the coach, we're supposed to allow the coach to do what he wants to do
Yeah,
in
man.
terms of selection,
Yeah.
right? And but what we can't do, man, is, man, we can't satisfy everybody because me, I wanna say, him no see whisper Algrims that call whisper. Him no see why Algrims should call whisper. So you can't heal the nation, man, is, man. You have to just,
Mm.
and
I
there's a
hear
lot
that
of
he,
reason.
I hear that he's back in Jamaica though.
Whisper.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe my head over to Spain, man, know.
And no, but the Phoenix players are back from Spain. I one game them playing.
Okay.
Them. Yeah, I
One
just
team.
70 I just 7 days. One
Okay,
game.
just a minute. You understand me? But we need to understand the football thing, you know, just level like what we think, man. A whole heap of thing they night and you have to study, So Grimson have a whole heap of work because they forgot right now, they forgot help them do administrative work in the JFF too as well. To set certain things in place.
Why most of the Cavaliers players are coming back home. Which Cavalier player come back home?
Topi and Nikio.
Okay. And
Topi and
Alex
Nikio.
Marshall.
Alex Marshall and Kumi.
And
So they
yeah,
must come back home to Jamaica, then come from,
a lot of Cavaliers players come back for real, when you think about it. Humble one media, me not take on the one day, Me just want so them box, but me not take on the one day. And Whisper is back in Jamaica. Yeah. Top is what? 20 what? 20 what?
23.
21?
20 little bit, man.
21
23.
man. I'm busy 21.
Topi and Nikio, them are same age, Topi and Nikio are same age. Nikio did how much? And when name? Your ball there. Paris, them are same age.
Jamai Topi. 2000 in born. I'm 23 this year. I'm 23.
23 this year, man, I tell you.
Yeah. So Topi is 23, Bama. I know again.
Slowly.
And who? Marshall around 20, 25 or so.
98 Marshall, man.
Yeah. Group walk on because I just 11 minutes, I just 10 minutes we have and we are close,
Yo, me I wonder who wanna do our going so late. I wish news broke. Who I get chance for Christy come to Jamaica. What? Me no know. Cause me on their
No,
own dance so late, bro.
no, I show them. We are interview and seeing can just get the Jamaica under 15 job.
I almost believe that. Almost believe that a while ago.
I lose the
Almost.
practice match, man. Is man I advocate him and get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, as the Antina said, you can't heal nation, you can't please them people, yeah, brother. Every day I'm gonna go, so how the money now play?
Oh, the man they not play. Oh, no pick the man there.
Every day somebody complain because for them favorite
Even
in
man is man right now that complain if so me can call my ball name right now if he not get selected. And a different man get selected from the JPL. Oh man. Now a particular position of a defensive midfielder. We can tell you that. You see him start making him face already.
brother. Brother,
Easy.
we not have a culture. We not have a
Hey,
culture.
people, no, well, people, no hit the like button. Come on, man. Me throat all hurt. Me hit the like button. I mean, not watch it. I'm seeing the people. Them not to give me a super chat. Watch it.
We can't see when I come. It's
Not a
like
thing cup empty.
you have something over it, we can't see inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, we don't have a culture where alright. We want to say player A select for the side because of our ball and my ball that. My man said, sure, alright, him not get people. We just work with what we have because support the youth then because the coach have a reason why him pick the youth. It that it boil long to you know. Cause none of we can pick his side. A
Yeah,
decision lie with the coach and him staff.
there you go, sir.
I'm see a bag of man at talk about man will come back to Jamaica come play. Bro, if the man in contract done a foreign, we expect the man them to do. The man them a citizen.
But
So them
Rafael,
come back to Jamaica.
but Rafael Morrison not with DC United again.
He's not.
No.
You sure about that? Cause me see him on preseason training. You know.
Yeah, I think Rafael Morrison. I think his. Yeah, sure. I think his contract was thing there. No, there was some buyout time contract. DC Rafael Morrison. Let me check it again.
I don't know about that. Up to
Yeah.
week before last, well, week before last or last week, he ended up on
And
preseason with them.
Formula make a big point here.
Man is man.
Rafael Morrison still at DC.
Man is man.
Yeah.
And the next thing to I think we as bloggers should do is control the narrative or put things in context when we're doing a show. Because I think sometimes we do a show man is man because we want to talk about a certain topic, but our fans take it a different way. You understand me? Our supporters take it a different way. You understand me? So we need to put things in context and we have to be, truthful to what is happening and give the coach an opportunity. We as bloggers sometimes we tend to start the riff and start the ism and schisms.
Not me. Not me. Me stay far
Yeah,
from that. Man can
yeah,
come in the
yeah, man.
comment section. No man can get me down, go down a party, unseen. Me try keep my thing balanced, You understand me? Big up for the super. Formula make a big point. Formula says Hamilton, Topi, Marshall, etc. were not sent to proper youth development jurisdiction. That's why they are back. European clubs' business model, for most part, are to be selling clubs. All right.
Are you
Somebody,
really
somebody,
that in the
please.
monies?
Yeah. Somebody, please confirm with me if Ravel moved to a new club or he's still at DC.
There look on the monies, guys. I say him have through 2023 MLS season with an option in 2024 season. The club announced Thursday. And that are from last year. I don't see
Yeah.
no and
You don't see nothing.
I don't
Okay.
see no update.
Oh,
Cause I
he's
don't
still
see
at.
him with this
Okay,
side.
he's at the. Dwight is saying that he's still at DC. All
Yeah, man.
right, all right.
But
Okay.
yeah, brother, because alright. If you go if you have a player where 19, 18, 20, the the best place to send them in terms of development wise would have to be Europe. You can't send them in the USL or the MLS because them man they want results. No. That them
You
I
can go
deal with.
MLS, man. If them good enough, then can go MLS, but not USL.
Bro, unseen. MLS
No.
is not going to
No,
It's a
well,
spend
big,
unseen.
money
What
upon
what what
a
what I'll
regular
say
baller.
unseen is that the thank you, Bama. What I'll say is that, and when I talk to Bama, I'm going to interview Bama this week. I'll show it him in the morning, in the later part of the morning. But here's the thing: the USL Championship has improved, brother, a whole lot. The quality, the people who play in it. Because what you find now is that because all of the international slots open in the MLS. The MLS clubs, have a lot of international players now. So what that means is that the
Homegrown
the
thing them.
USL Championship have some of the players who not getting game time in the MLS, but were MLS players. So the USL Championship is highly competitive. All right. Now it I think players can go there with the hope of moving on, not to stop there. But if
No
it's
man, money.
Europe,
I
it
don't
will be
believe so.
better.
I don't believe so, money. You know
If you're
why?
young, you got MLS in a bro. You see me if you're young, like 20,
Mm-mm.
21, you got MLS, you do 2 seasons. A club, you perform well. A club in Europe, we want you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, look on this, bro. I remember this, Look on recent trends. When last you see a MLS side get a player directly from Jamaica when not go in on the college system. When last?
So somebody listen, remember somebody all right. Let me give you an example of something. Say Matt Turner at Arsenal left from MLS to um a lot of the players now are leaving.
From MLS
Um
to big clubs.
Well,
yeah, and they
well,
fit in. Look at the youth who is at Atlanta United, that is at Newcastle. Oh geez. Um
Manings,
I
Manings.
I
You
Even
know
the
what you're
Aston Villa.
saying?
fast guy there, man. Oh geez, him name, man. He plays for Newcastle. He was at
Aston
Atlanta
Villa.
Yeah.
United.
Oh, Yedlin? Yedlin,
No,
there?
no, man. He plays for Newcastle. He's a foul. Yeah. It's not. Oh, jeez. What's the name of Almiron?
Almiron?
Almiron. Yeah,
Okay.
Almiron was at Atlanta.
Man,
No,
is man.
Manings.
There's a player. There's a player from I think it's New York
Arsenal
Red
just
Bulls.
buy a defender named Trusty that them loan out. I mean, so the MLS are good quality
Man,
competition. Go ahead.
Manings.
Man. There's a baller from I think New York Red Bulls who plays at Aston Villa now. Them just buy him the other day.
Somebody just leave from Chicago Fire and went to Aston Villa.
Yeah. Him is Chicago Fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manings.
I play with Dan Bailey.
I'm telling you something
Some don't understand.
MLS and players leaving MLS going to England. I remember this. Most of the teams in the EPL are American owned. That's a one. Two, all the clubs in England would love to get a market share in America because they don't know how America steered in terms of it's a big market and football is a virgin sport in a big market like that. So if so oftentimes it's business opposed to talent.
Yeah. Hey, hold on there. Barcelona just bought the player from MLS as well.
Remember say Barcelona did have the right back in we play for America the other day,
All
What
right. See the
name?
player. See the player. Julian Araujo from LA Galaxy to Barcelona. I think Real Madrid also wanted him.
But man is man, remember say a lot of English club they want a goalkeeper. You understand? But just because of
See,
the ranking
Bama
and the
can
whole
give
thing.
you. See, Bama give you a desk leave from
Yeah,
MLS.
yeah, there's no, I think this born Netherlands, but in some period film American, but where it it's not just about football with them club sometimes. Honestly, sometimes
Yeah, bro.
I just marketing. And if you play a good, it's a bonus. Trust me,
All
bro.
right.
We
Bro,
can't just
we
look
have
on it on a linear
The man said,
way.
remember that Alfonso Davis went from MLS to Bayern Munich too.
No, Alfonso Davis went from USL, MLS, then Bayern Munich.
The,
I remember this in the money.
yeah, no, that me same leave from MLS to Bayern Munich.
Alright. You see, when you come on to that something there, and at this most you not understand. So when you go to USL, having hopes to going transitioning up to MLS, it not go it not really happen so because MLS and USL them not see eye to eye. As a somebody say, "Ongo we you go see." I don't want to misquote. USA get proper respect unless MLS put in promotion or relegation. Remember, say the US football system is a closed system, you know, and them not really buy you. MLS teams don't really buy from USA clubs.
Okay,
See,
that is the player we're talking and seeing, Gabriel Slonina.
Tonina, yeah, I think so. It's the same name.
Yeah.
But what broke for understanding, back in the days, when when we have when name again Cummins, Omar Cummins, and them man they play for Jamaica.
uh,
I remember if I think Aston Villa did one Cummins too all the time, and him couldn't get forgot because of the crank in Jamaica. You understand? Them not have him not get no contract. Them call us something. Work permit.
I know that you know that
Even
ironic.
even
I see
Blake.
no how ironic that is. Them because of the ranking at that point in time. A bag of man left straight from Jamaica I go over they go play in a them time there. You saw that awkward.
Yeah.
You
So
have somebody that play in a MLS can't go over to
Hey,
England.
people, see there. All right, sorry there, cause Fresh got just yeah, yeah. See, Andy William telling that. Hey, Andy, remember I call you, brother. 3 hours, I think 3 hours with a separate. So I'm gonna show it to you. Cause we know your man to wake up until 1 o'clock your time,
Cummins like cap man, but he never have enough cap.
Yeah. People, Fresh God just give the wrap up signal. Him say, like up the stream before you leave, people. Thank in advance. Thank for watching. Show done. Big
Get
big
easy
up
money,
Fresh
man.
God. Fresh God done the show, people. Fresh God at the general. This is the player you talk from Chicago Fire to Aston Villa.
John Duran.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, East Coast. All right then. So all right, good. All right, so we show it you tomorrow. So people, Fresh God said the show done, you know. You understand me? I'm from the bar talk, you don't know.
Just have one thing to say, man, is man.
He want give the wrap up signal. Let me put it up again, people. See it there. Go ahead and see it. Wrap up
So,
signal. Big up
so,
Fresh
so
God. You know the
basically,
thing. Go.
so, so basically, what that show me, man, is that is if we can channel our young players in the right market, they can make it over into the bigger market. We just need to channel and stop we just say no, the third party type of thing. Like, we always want to hustle off everybody and that mash up the youth them can make it, hustle mentality. Yeah, when you
Then
look on the
everyone
longer
want to make a thing.
everybody want a piece of the pie, and then it suffer the youth them. They look on the long term benefit of the nation, and even the same person to we want to look of piece of the pie can get something bigger in the future, 10 years down the line.
What are they? Chris Roman. You know, so the USA Guatemala game play from yesterday. A replay. A replay you're watching on the game done from yesterday. USA win. 5-3, I think. The gameplay from yesterday and Chris Roman. A replay you're watching up. What you think? What you tell the for people? Chris Roman, the game done from yesterday. 5-3 the game done. USA versus Guatemala. It's
Man, 24 hours back at time.
Man, and we need to get some trained Jamaican agent. Yeah, man, we have the youth them interest at art.
Hey,
What unseen, as you just say a while ago, bro. We need to
the
get
man
some
said
people now
now.
try to hustle
Chris
off of you
Roman,
them.
I from yesterday. The game play. The game done long time. You know?
Man, the man in a different world style.
Somebody telling me think a joke me I make. Tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
please tell
man,
me
is
say the
man.
game done long time. I replay my watching, but seriously a live game.
My TV is still
My
like.
TV is Craig Butler. Easy, Love it. You see it? Love the pasa energy.
The man said TV is alive.
TV they on dash your brother. TV they no good.
Panama win today. Yes, the agents want money, no best interest at all. There's no players' interest above their own wealth.
Yeah. Hey, me really I try to get an agent, you know. Me really agent. Yeah, I miss my big back TV, man. I Chris Roman get the big back TV people. I might. You understand me? Yeah, a unicorn price he play for you too, you know. But yeah, for people can run. But I'm gonna try to get an agent. I know him don't really. He's not one of those who really come on. But me really I hope that he really comes on and really talk to us a little bit, because he watched one of the shows and he was saying this thing about the club losing money, and you know he was being unseen. In fact, he was agreeing with you that the clubs need to let the players go, because he's saying that what kind of money they are investing in the players? Nobody not paying no money for the players. Where you gonna keep if you keep the players and the player don't sell? How it benefit you?
It must have you too.
Can't tell him that, you know. I can't tell him that, you know, man.
Man, if I try 2 years with the player and him not sell, let him go on for the 3rd year.
Mr. United, careful, you know. Mind you
Can't tell him that you're unseen.
Mind you get
Stuck in them ways.
mind you get to that problem.
Look, that's why Arnett Garden now we know much time. How much of them player get sell? Them time when him not win.
Yeah.
So may I show you. Sell the players them, brother, and stop hold on and play them like, man. You gonna make some money.
Me know if you sell a ball down the line, every transfer him get, you get an increment
El
half
Granny,
money.
I don't know Baron. Who is Baron Marshall?
There's a local agent.
Jason, I was going to say something, but you know what? People are going to end the show, because if we continue, we're going to end up in a problem with the leaker. You understand me? So, make we end the show. Listen, this has been I Am Sure Sports. I am okay. All right. El Granny, I'll talk to him. You know, this has been I Am Sure Sports. I am Bunnings Band. Brooke just coming from dance, come catch the you know the last segment of the show. You understand me? Big up to Unseen, Brian, all the rest of persons. We're gonna link up the bomber, CMC. Understand me?
Bless up Andy.
Yeah, man. So people yell up the legendary ball, you know.
Bless up Andy Williams, you know you go already.
Be a fun, you know, when you're there on their money, laugh can't done, you know. You understand me? The maestro in the middle of the park. Yeah, yeah, man. But bless up. Listen, thanks everyone. It has been a good show. 3 hours, 10 minutes. I am Management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. Be supporter, big up yourself. You don't know. When you get to this point, people, BB Cross, the female that was in the house, bless up yourself. Empress every time. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports. You know, when it gets to this point, we say we are over and we are out.